jump start it up again. It's just like,
Yeah,
right?
you was farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off. Yeah. You seriously don't know? Everybody knows you never go full retard.
What do you mean?
You know any retarded war heroes? You went full retard, man. Never go full retard. You don't buy that? Ask Sean Penn. Remember? Went full retard. Went home empty-handed.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this video finds you. Welcome to the Duel stream.
Mm-hmm.
Got Red Pill, AB Media.
What up?
Possibly
Hopefully
Charles.
will show up.
Yeah, Charles be on, Charles time. Officer Faulkner of the goddamn law time. What's going on, fellas? How y'all week has been?
Good.
So far.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, shall we jump right into it, or do y'all want to have a little small talk first?
Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, this is
First.
All right, let's jump right into it. So, exclusive via Daily Mail. Is this the proof that Ilhan Omar married her own brother to bypass U.S. immigration rules? Conservative group's DNA test from Congresswoman's cigarette butt purports to show 99.9% match to her second husband, Ahmed Elmi. And let me tell you something. When you are up on a murder charge, you do not drink anything, you don't eat anything, you don't smoke anything, and you keep your hands in your pockets. Do you understand?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How stupid are you people? Because you can go ahead and say, I object to a DNA test all you want to. But when they show up, you hungry? You want something to drink? You need a cigarette? Yeah. You sitting up there munching on the burger, you drinking on the cup. They even give you the trash can. Here, look, they be like this. Here, throw it away. There you go. Here, throw it away. Throw it right in the trash can. There you go. Thank you. Somebody send the link. Y'all need the link?
You got to send a link because it's on your stream.
Oh, okay. All right.
You can also copy it out of the browser and send it.
Yeah.
That work? Y'all got it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they let you throw it right away. You throw it away, they set the trash can back in the corner, and they just go ahead. All of a sudden, they get quiet. All of a sudden, they just let you talk. And, oh, okay, well, all right. Well, we'll let you tell your story. All right, well, see you later. And give you a pat on the back and release you. First thing they do, they put on the rubber gloves and grab all that stuff right out the trash and start dusting for prints, start doing the straw for DNA, everything. Next thing you know, they show up at your house with the doors, with the cuffs swinging. They got you. Am I lying?
Nope.
No, you're not.
Man, I wish Charles was here because he'd tell you. That's exactly how them homicide detectives be getting you. Burglary detectives, whatever. Because you stupid enough to leave behind evidence, huh?
What happened, babe? Hey, what's up, fellas? What's up? Hey.
What's up,
going on?
AL?
Hey, what's good? Bam, AB. Bam, Red Cell. Bam.
What up?
What's going on? What you talking about? I just got in. Repeat it, please. I appreciate
Ilhan
it.
Omar married her own brother. There's proof. She committed
Oh,
immigration fraud.
They got to file. So you can't be a sitting goddamn congressperson or a senator of the United States government and pull that stunt and think there's gonna be no consequences. Discussion. They done found out. They better handle it up. Period. Point blank. I feel nothing.
So here's some bullet points. A supposed DNA match between Representative Ilhan Omar and her second husband, Ahmed Elmi, allegedly proves that the two are siblings. It has long been rumored that Omar and Elmi are siblings, but because of a lack of paperwork in war-torn Somalia, positive proof has never been uncovered. The match says that Omar's DNA was taken from a cigarette butt, while Elmi's DNA purportedly came from a drinking straw. What did I just say?
Yeah.
Although Omar is not known to be a smoker, a grainy photo appears to show her smoking outside of her Washington, D.C. home. Republican strategist Anton Lazzaro posted the results hours before he was arrested and charged with trafficking underage girls for sex. Isn't that weird? Omar's spokesperson is already discrediting the report due to Lazzaro's involvement. Yeah, I just bet. A shadowy Republican group is behind the surreptitious sleuthing and claims this finally proves the two are siblings. Let's get into it. Persistent claims that leftist Congresswoman Ilhan Omar married her own brother to get around U.S. immigration laws may be legitimized by what appears to be a conclusive DNA test. The results of the test assert that there is a 99.9999998% chance that Omar and her second husband, Ahmed Elmi, are siblings. The report, drawn up by Endeavor DNA Laboratories, does not name either Omar or Elmi, instead referring to them as Sibling 1 and Sibling 2. DailyMail.com understands that Omar is Sibling 1. I don't even think it matters.
Really don't.
No, don't. It says that Sibling 1 sample was garnered from a cigarette butt and Sibling 2's from a drinking straw. Omar has never before been known publicly to be a smoker, although her third husband, Tim Minot, is. However...
Wait, how many husbands does she have?
I don't know. She's such a whore. However, a grainy picture of her with a cigarette in her mouth, said to have been taken outside her home in Washington, D.C., appears as part of the evidence gathered in an intensive investigation by a shadowy conservative group. And there she is smoking. Is that not her smoking?
Yeah, that's her.
Gotcha, chick. Gotcha.
Yeah, this is her brother. That's her little brother.
You know what? That's all kinds of nasty. I don't care what continent, what region, what area you from. Brother and sister should not never be married nowhere like this. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
What's wrong with that?
What's
Make good
wrong?
film.
Can you say? Man. Incest?
So that's Hillbilly Lovin'.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, Blacker Than Midnight. You say great news. Trump is pausing military aid to Ukraine just days after he checked Zelensky for being a warmonger and ungrateful beggar. This is major. Trump did more than just talk tough on this one. Yeah, I talked about that Saturday. What's up, Jibba? So here is the DNA test.
You're breaking up, Bay.
Oh, I'm sorry. My internet sometimes acts weird. All right, but can you see the DNA test? Hold on, let me open a new tab. Is that better?
How about you take us down and just have that up?
All right. Well, then y'all won't be able to hear me. Let me see here.
Look at you see the little icons? Because there's a way
Right.
to put us on the bottom. Look at the one and that'll put us on the bottom.
Right, but I did that, and this is what I get.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, that doesn't work. That doesn't help. But at any rate, this is what I can tell y'all. All of the markers, these are markers, okay? These are right here to the left. These are markers. Well, these are the tests, and these are the markers. All right. I'm sorry, these are the markers. So all the markers match up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's like very little discrepancy between the markers. This is why they say 99.99998%. Likelihood ratio is 40 out of 47,352,360. Probability of full siblingship versus no relation is a 99.9999998. This is her damn brother.
Question, babe. Question.
Yes.
Does she have any children? And if she does, who are they by?
Say that again.
Question. Does she have any children, any kids? And if she does, who by? The first husband, the second husband, or the third husband?
I believe she had children with her brother. Now, or her quote unquote husband that's being rumored as her brother. I believe they have children together because they didn't actually get married. They got it was a religious ceremony. Okay, there was a religious ceremony, but we'll get into this. So the test was posted online by Anton Lazzaro, a Republican strategist in Minneapolis, on Wednesday. Around 12 hours later, Lazzaro was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. He is now in custody awaiting a hearing on Monday, which is today. Lazzaro's lawyer, Zachary Newland, could not immediately be reached as he was on the flight. However, he confirmed by email that the website was put up by his client. Omar spokesman Jeremy Slevin threw shade on the report. This is fraudulent website created by a man charged this week with child sex trafficking and lying to federal investigators to cover it up, he said in a statement. Endeavor, which is based in El Paso, Texas, did not return the call for comment. The company charges $189 for a siblingship test. DailyMail.com understands that a shadowy Republican group was planning to release details of a DNA report in the next day or two. It does not know what relationship Lazzaro, 30, has to that group. Its work could have been undermined by Lazzaro as it gives Minnesota Congresswoman Omar, 38, an opportunity to try to discredit the information is coming from a tainted source. Well, you know how you literally prove that is a discredited source? Ilhan, you and your brother, your ex-husband, y'all take a legitimate DNA test. Right?
Yeah.
You know, if y'all are not siblings, then come on, let's do some cheek swabs. Come on in. Lazzaro's website says that the group garnered a DNA sample from Elmai Straw in Leicester, England, as part of a 2-year investigation. Oh, so he got private detectives on this one. He has recently been living in both Kenya and on the East African island of Zanzibar. The test result appears to show that some of the DNA matches are exact while others are close. The group behind the surreptitious sleuthing claims this proves the two are siblings. Claims that Omar and Elmi, 36, are siblings have been rampant for years. The allegation is that they married so Elmi, a British citizen, could go to school in the United States. He followed Omar to North Dakota State University. Lazzaro's website says, Rep. Omar was a U.S. citizen for a decade, and her brother, ex-husband, Mr. Elmi, was a UK citizen. Wow, even they calling him that. This is purely a crime of convenience by an individual with extremely poor ethics, now representing hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans in Congress. There was absolutely no threat to these individuals, causing them to commit multiple felonies while living in the two wealthiest countries in the world, seeking reduced tuition at a public university. Omar, who was first elected to Congress in 2018, has never fully addressed the question of whether she is related to Elmi. While serving in the Minnesota House of Representatives, she did issue a press release in which she called the allegations absurd and offensive. Then take the damn DNA test. You could clear this up just by taking the DNA test.
Too much like right. Ain't gonna happen. Moving on.
In her memoir, This Is What America Looks Like, published last year, she claims she hardly knew him when they married, saying, I had a Britney Spears style meltdown, not only elope with a man whom I spent so little time with that I wouldn't even make him a footnote in my story if it weren't for the fact that this event turned into the main headline later on, but I shaved my head. Yeah, I just bet. Yes, like the beleaguered pop star who shaved her head in 2007, I took clippers to my own head. Too many headaches, too little sleep. I had to flee myself, my relationships, my hair. I mean, well, if you banging your own brother, I could see why you would have an emotional breakdown. The difference between Britney and me is that I wore a hijab, so nobody knew what I had done, except my children, who were very surprised. Mommy looks like me, Adnan, her young son, declared. And he was right. I did look like a little boy. She didn't even name Elmi in her memoir. Yeah, I just bet. Yeah, that's him right there.
That's the brother?
Yeah, this is the brother right here.
She is one nasty chick.
Mm-hmm.
But others have long claimed that she married him so he could go to school in the United States. She had come to America as a refugee fleeing war in her native Somalia, but he had taken up British nationality. He followed her to North Dakota State University after their marriage in 2009. A Christian minister performed the ceremony despite the fact that both are Muslim. Yeah, because why would you do that?
Because they know Allah, that's a sin. Oh, the Muslims not gonna accept it. So
Exactly.
you had to literally go and get a Christian minister to perform your quote unquote religious ceremony. How religious was it? If you wasn't practicing your own faith to get married in your own faith, cut the crap.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say something, Lewis?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I am good.
So Molly
What you say, Lewis? You Gucci. What you say, Lewis? You Gucci.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to get this name right because you know I'm bad with foreign names. Somali blogger Adehikim Osman Nur told DailyMail.com in February last year that he had known Omar growing up, and suddenly her brother arrived in Minneapolis. At the time, Omar was married to Ahmed Hershey, who she later remarried. They have since divorced, and in March 2020, she married Minette, her chief fundraiser. You know, the white boy. No one knew there had been a wedding until the media turned up the marriage certificate years later, Nurse said, about the Elmi Omar marriage. People began noticing that Ilhan and Southside were often with a very effeminate young guy. Osman said, referring to Hershey by his nickname. Oh, so her brother is you know.
Well, he's illegitimate. He's illegitimate.
He's a Duncan Hines.
Yeah. He's straight up illegitimate. He's illegitimate.
He's moist as the cake. Why would they take a DNA test? What's up, Unsunken One? What's up? All right. What's up, y'all? All right, so let's get back to this. He was very feminine in the way he dressed. He would wear light lipstick and pink clothes and very, very short shorts in the summer.
Well,
People-
go back to the picture of them too.
Yeah.
Down, no, down.
Right. Go up a little bit.
Yeah,
You're too far.
Go up.
Come back up. Come back up.
Look how like what? Look at that.
Yeah, he got. I mean, I hate to say this. I'm not trying to be funny, but he got some DSLs.
Yeah,
he got some. He got some.
He got some sugar in the tank. That's just.
Man, you beat me to the punch, AB. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, yeah, I see some sugar in that tank.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
some sugar. As they say, he got some sugar in that tank.
He looked like he looked like he worked in a women's clothing store.
No, hey, check it out, fellas. He's happy over here. He literally gets to let his hair down and be himself over here. Cause trust me, over in their country, and he's trying to pull this crap. Y'all know what would be happening to him, and I don't have to say anything else. Y'all already know.
So people started whispering about him, added Nur, who spoke in Somalia through an interpreter. Southside and Ilhan both told me it was Ilhan's brother, and he had been living in London, but he was mixing with what were seen as bad influences that the family did not like, added Nur. So they sent him to Minneapolis as rehab.
They thought they were sending for rehab. What they did was just flat out open up the floodgates to his being promiscuous. He's being so promiscuous.
They might as well have sent him with high heels and Astroglide.
Mm-hmm.
Nur said that Omar kept her marriage to Elmi quiet, with no one from the Somali community invited to the wedding that was held at a county office in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Drop loads out there.
Yeah. He explained.
I know what that's it.
He explained when Southside and Ilhan got married, a lot of people were invited. It was a big Islamic wedding uniting two large clans in the Minnesota community. I would say there were 100, 150 people there. But he said when she married Elmi, no one even knew about it. Nur said he believed Elmi and Omar sought out someone outside the Somali community to conduct the ceremony because an imam would have known they were related and would have refused to marry them. So here's the marriage certificate.
Cat's out the bag now.
Right. So this is his name. There's her name. You know. Yeah.
And that's on a marriage certificate. That's grounds for fraud right there. That's grounds for fraud.
Hennepin County, Director of Licensing. Yeah, look at him. He looked like he'll be looking at you while you trying to change clothes at Planet Fitness.
He got them sweet, soft dough baby eyes. God damn it. Just all kinds of wrong. He could put on 1,000. He could put on 1,000-yard stare if his life depended on it.
Oh Lord, he's the type of dude that if he your girlfriend's best friend, depending on how weak you are, she would come in like click on the light in the living room because you ain't in bed and catch you on the downstroke on this dude. Baby, I was drunk.
I thought it was you.
I'm making fun, y'all. I don't swing that way. I'm just let me put
we go keep making fun of it. We're heterosexual men. We don't abide by this. So guess what? It's within our rights to make fun of them. And so I feel nothing.
I'm comfortable in my heterosexuality. I can make fun of it without feeling questionable.
Man, and feel nothing.
Hold on, there are some low IQ people who will clip this. Be like, see, I told you these dudes was fuck. Whatever. The marriage was conducted by Christian minister Walicia Harris. When DailyMail.com approached her in 2019, she would not discuss the ceremony or why a Muslim couple would have asked her to marry them. In a Facebook message, Harris's husband Marcus told Daily Mail, "My wife doesn't want to be involved or interviewed about Congresswoman Omar. It's not going to happen. Not now and not at never. Yeah, because she got caught up in a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Lazzaro's arrest could complicate the latest attempts to prove the Congresswoman may have broken federal immigration laws. I doubt it, because I mean Pam Bondi wants this. Because understand, let me explain this real quick. Because Ilhan Omar cannot shut her damn mouth. Reporters asked Trump directly about her situation. And Trump said this about 2 weeks ago. Y'all remember that?
What'd he say? What'd he say?
He said the reporters asked him because he didn't walk away. The reporters asked me, he said, wait, what? He was like, oh, well, I'll have somebody look into that.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little Cheeto.
Yeah. He said, oh, yeah, because I don't care what nobody say. I mean, of course, Democrats, they so stupid. They don't understand what hyperbole or sarcasm or anything like that is. Everything he say, I'll have this war over in day one. Oh, well, we still at war. Like, no, actually, we've never been at war.
Yeah, apparently, he's put Zelensky in the find out stage. He got Zelensky in the find out stage. He apparently just cut off weapons, all weapons to Ukraine. Oops.
Oh, that
Great.
was a given.
Great.
After he kicked Zelensky out of the White House, that was a given.
Mm-hmm.
You don't come into the United States of America, Washington, D.C., the White House, the Oval Office, and talk cash money shit to the president of the United States. Whether you like him or not, you keep all that to yourself. And whether you like what he's saying or not at the time, if you know you over here begging for something, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because he tried to play us. He was trying to play us with that whole look at what they're doing to our prisoners. Well, what you want me to
Look
do?
at them. They're your prisoners. You chose to want to go to war with Putin.
Like, you should have signed the deal. Well, but okay. Anyway, we'll deal with that another time. Let's get this over with.
Mm-hmm.
So Lazzaro's arrest could, okay, I already got that. Let's see. According to a press release from the Department of Justice in Minnesota, Lazzaro conspired with others to recruit and solicit 6 minor victims to engage in commercial sex acts. I don't believe that. The indictment charges Lazzaro with 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of minors, 5 counts of sex trafficking of minors, 1 count of attempted sex trafficking of a minor, and 3 counts of obstruction. You know, I don't believe that. Who's the governor of Minnesota?
That's Michigan. Whitman. Who is the governor?
One that ran for vice president.
Yeah, Wentz, whatever.
Tampon Tim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it, because look how it's only in Minnesota. I don't believe it. Trump gonna have that looked into. He gonna have Pam Bondi look into that. They watch that get dropped. This is a setup. He just happened to be in Minnesota, you know, doing all of this investigation and whatnot, and then he got caught up. I'm not worried about it. Remember, I was telling y'all about the whole the list, and I was like, hey, look, if all of a sudden I supposedly committed suicide or come up missing, or they find CP on my computer, don't believe it. Remember, I was saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This is the same thing with him. They've been doing this since what? Even on the X-Files, the dude was saying that. They tried to frame this old dude. He come out of the alley with Mulder and Scully. Like, hey, like, what did they find? Like, what's going on? Like, let me guess. Like, they found something on the computer. Like, let me guess. CP. He was like, yeah. I kind of figured. You know, because he was a whistleblower. Mm-hmm. That's how they do you. They'll dump that stuff on there, or they'll say that they're looking for it and then place it on your drive once they confiscate all of your electronic devices.
Well, they could upload that stuff through Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they can nail you either type of way. They can get you. So, you know. Anyway, so I don't believe the charges that are against them. I think they're bogus. So, They say he's being held in federal custody until the hearing on Monday, which is today. Let's see. Lazzaro, who has appeared on Fox News and other conservative media outlets, has posted pictures of himself posing with former president, well, current president now, former Vice President Mike Pence and other leading Republicans. According to the Daily Beast, which broke the story of his arrest, the FBI had raided Lazzaro's luxury apartment in the Hotel Ivy Residences in downtown Minneapolis in December of last year. The indictment accuses Lazzaro of having recruited at least 5 underage victims for paid sex between May and December last year and trying to entice the 6th. It also says he knowingly and intentionally interfered with the investigation as it closed in on him, the Daily Beast reported. The outlet said law enforcement served the condo building's management company with a search warrant seeking Lazzaro's bank records and video surveillance footage a week before the raid. At the time, Lazzaro told the Daily Beast someone had made a false allegation against me, and he said the matter was almost resolved. What y'all think?
Sound like a whole bunch of mess to me.
Mm-hmm.
And just think, this story was published in August of 2021. That was the publishing date right here. 2021. It's been quiet ever since. But Trump's now in office.
Yeah, and Bondi and Trump know now, so Bondi better dig in her shit.
The cigarette man. Is that who it was, Audric? The cigarette man? Yeah. Yeah, X-Files, cigarette smell. Yeah, the cigarette man. The dude that was always... Y'all ever watch the X-Files? Those of you who used to watch it, even if you have a vague familiarity of it, later on in the series, there was a guy who was always smoking cigarettes, the cigarette man.
Yeah.
And he was leaking files and information to them while at the same time, well, he was playing both sides of the fence.
Yeah, until they drop a bomb on him.
Yeah.
Drop a bomb on him.
Exactly. So here's a new one. This came out February 28th. Lewis, you want to take this one?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to send it to you in the back chat. There you go. I'll pop the window up. Because this chick right here, she's scared to death. The old little bartender chick, she's scared to death.
Ain't that Cortez on the right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's Bondi on the right.
Sorry, I didn't mean
on the left. Excuse me.
Let me delete that. Can I delete that? Yeah. Delete that and delete that. By the way, y'all know it's Monday. It's open panel. Open panel, so anybody can come up.
Mm-hmm.
Give y'all 2 cents.
All right. I'll put it up to share.
All right, go ahead. Knock it out.
All right. Cancel that. All these damn notifications.
I know.
AOC ban Pondy if DOJ is. If DOJ is investigating her for telling illegal immigrants how to avoid ICE.
Damn right they go investigate her for that. You can't look at here.
Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat of New York.
Just call it trick AOC.
Hold on, let me get it.
Ex-U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi on Thursday whether the Department of Justice is investigating her for teaching illegal immigrants how to avoid the Trump administration's mass deportations earlier this month.
Yeah. Keep it up, honey. They go consider her enemy of the state. Keep it up.
Let me read it. Go ahead.
AOC Congressional Office and Lawyers with Immigrant Defense Project held a Know Your Rights with ICE webinar 2 weeks ago, educating illegal immigrants at risk of deportation about their rights and how U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement gathers information and enforces immigration laws. President Donald Trump's border czar Tom Homan has repeatedly criticized AOC, saying she is going to be in trouble now because she may be impeding immigration enforcement. 2 days after the webinar, Homan said he asked the U.S. Deputy Attorney General to open an investigation. I write to request clarity on whether the DOJ has yielded to political pressure and attempts to weaponize the agency against elected officials whose speech they disagree with, the Progressive Squad member wrote in a letter. AOC, who claimed her First Amendment rights are under attack, has yet to receive a notice from the Justice Department about her conduct. It has been 14 days since Mr. Homan first threatened to weaponize your agency, but I have not yet heard any referral from the federal government, she wrote. Homan's actions undercut core constitutional rights and further transparency is necessary. The DOJ spokesperson said the department received a letter but declined to comment on whether it has notified the Democratic lawmaker about the investigation status. Additionally, the department is focused more on prioritizing immigration enforcement right now than AOC's recent actions. The DOJ also just received 29 violent cartel leaders on American soil following unprecedented extradition. We are more focused on the latter, the spokesman told National Review. The letter follows the ongoing public feud between AOC and Homan, both of whom has been bickering with each other for weeks. In addition to the webinar, the Congresswoman has a page on her website dedicated to immigrant rights. She urged immigrants who have an open order of removal or are worried about getting picked up by ICE to complete a privacy release from the Department of Homeland Security so that her office can intervene. Representatives Ilhan Omar of Minnesota and Rashida Tlaib of Michigan offer similar Know Your Rights website pages. A large immigrant population resides in the congressional districts of AOC, Omar, and Tlaib. After taking office, Trump's prioritized deportation. Millions of immigrants who committed violent crimes or otherwise lived in the U.S. illegally. Homan, who has openly spoken about mass deportations, is leading the charge on the front. Mr. Homan's repeated attempts to use your agency to politically intimidate duly elected officials are a textbook threat to the right to free speech in the United States, the letter reads. Threatening criminal proceedings for exercising the First Amendment is itself a violation of the First Amendment. Educating the public about their rights, especially in a time of rising uncertainty, is a key part of our responsibility as elected officials. A government that uses threats of DOJ investigations to suppress free speech is a threat to all, regardless of political ideology. AOC asked Bondi to respond to her inquiry by March 5. During the Conservative Political Action Conference last weekend, Homan said the Trump administration is looking to whether nonprofits are also impeding immigration authorities, but declined to reveal details about the effort. A lot of NGOs, a lot of these groups, he previously told National Review, I don't want to share that all with you because we're looking at it and in the middle of investigation. So I do not want to show my hand. That's it.
Hey, fellas.
Yep,
As we know, we have the right to free speech, right?
correct.
Yeah.
But what does that not protect you against?
You're on fire in a crowded theater.
One, if it's impeding the investigation,
Yeah.
It doesn't protect you from the
Government
consequences.
governmental. Yeah.
AB, you want to take the next story? If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm not that good of a reader.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
Damn it.
So this chick say they were on it. Okay, they got their own show, but it was canceled after 13 episodes. Okay, yeah. So number one, you do have the right to free speech in America, but that doesn't free you from consequences. Like you said, you can scream fire in a crowded theater all you want. You have the freedom to do that, but it's a crime because you cause turmoil and people can get hurt. So therefore, it's a crime. AOC trying to tell undocumented people this is what you can do, and these are your rights. Blah 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 blah. First and foremost, do understand who you call yourself. I understand that you think you call yourself trying to help the average illegal that might be like working like with a roofing business or something, or maybe at a hotel or cutting grass or construction, whatever. But that's not who they're going after. They're mainly 100% going after criminals, people who rape, murder, sell drugs, and assault. Those are their four main components that they're looking for. And anybody else caught up in that is because they've had dealings with those people. Remember they were talking about the guy who 8 o'clock in the morning, he had been here 20 years, and he wound up getting arrested and deported, and the girl, his daughter, was crying, "Oh, my daddy." I'm sorry. Huh?
I said her daddy going back across the border.
Yeah, because the only reason why they came knocking on the door or waiting to ambush your daddy at 8 o'clock in the morning is because they were on the trail of a criminal illegal. Why does your daddy know a criminal illegal? You understand what I'm getting at? Your father was caught up in some dumb stuff. So, other side of the wall for you, bro. You say, I don't care how long he's been here. Well, this is why I say, I'll repeat it. I know I'm a broken record on this, but if you've been here and you're holding down a job, you have no criminal record, here's what we're going to do. We're going to slap an ankle monitor on you. Here's the citizenship test. You got 6 months. Meet us at courthouse, room 36B on the second floor to take your citizenship test. You better pass it. You've been here long enough. You're indoctrinated into our culture. You better pass it. We're not really worried about your broken English. Just pass it. We'll give it to you in English and Spanish. Just pass the test, and we'll give you a chance. You'll be on the probationary period for 5 years. And then you'll get a temporary green card, and then after 5 years, you'll get, you'll get a new green card. You'll get a work visa, work card, and everything and whatnot. And then if you survive another 5 years, then you become a citizen. We'll give you 10 years. You're pretty much a 10-year probationary period, but you'll get a social security number. You'll have to pay taxes, all of that stuff. Just keep your nose clean. You'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they do that when dudes who marry these foreign chicks or the women who marry foreigners and they bring them back to the United States, and then after the guys or girls get a work visa, suddenly they leave their mate and you're forced as an American citizen to take care of them for 10 years? For those of y'all that don't know about the whole passport bro thing and why they say don't ever bring them back here, because that's the scam. You keep them in their shithole. Excuse me. Well, that's a snowman. You keep them in their mud huts, quote unquote. You keep them over there. You move over there, or you go there every 6 months, or however you want to play it. But you never move them here because they will take advantage of you. You are the gringo. You're the mark. You're the mark. You say, yup, it happened to my brother with a Jamaican. Thank you. I knew there was a victim in here somewhere. So yeah, you do the same thing with them. You do the same thing with them. But yeah, what she did was illegal. Do y'all think so?
Mm-hmm.
And did the snow aid.
Well, that's $1.
Yeah, like that's wild. So yeah, see what he said. He said she left him a week after she got her card, and they had my nephew. Yeah, that's how they play you. You're the mark. This is what AOC call herself trying to protect. And I'm like this. I put it to you like this. You call yourself wanting to protect an illegal? Well, I tell you what, the criminals, the ones that we catch, we're going to move at least 7 of them into your residence, if not all of your residences. All right? We're going to take the lock off your bathroom and bedroom doors because they identify as female. And here, you take care of them. What you mean, no? No, you want to keep them here. There's Snow. There you go. You got at least $1 coming tonight. Yeah, that's how you play it. I bet you they'll change their tune real quick, won't they?
The quickness.
So yes, I Pam, like, she wrote this whole letter, which isn't in the article, but some of the key points is where she was trying to defend her right to free speech. Yeah, she was trying to defend her right to free speech, and you're trying to weaponize the DOJ against me and political persecution and all of this stuff. Like, girl, you the main one that was trying to politically persecute somebody. Every time we turn around, you're politically persecuting somebody. Like,
all the time.
Right. So now that they're using it against you, but legitimately, now suddenly you say you can't see anybody else's chats. Oh, well, that's probably because of who you with. But like the main one, you want to, okay, look, all right, hold on. Let me do this. Hold on. Because I know he probably want to see the main chats. Hold on. All right, so
it depends on whose channel you're on.
Right, exactly. So if you want to,
because right now we on base channel, so base channel is primary.
Right. So there you go. If you want to see all the chats, you got to go there. You got to go there on the sunken one. So no, you cool. So made me lose my train of thought. AOC. So what she was doing, it was criminal. But she's trying to mount a defense, trying to say that this was, this is a political witch hunt and everything. But but the thing is that you broke the law.
Mm-hmm. You're a political dummy.
Yeah. You're trying to you're a government employee and you're trying to circumvent the government. A federal mandate. Tell me something. Every time y'all see a meme of AOC, what does it entail?
Her being a dummy.
Looking goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a dummy. She's a dummy. Had the nerve to call Elon a dummy. Like, well, where's your multi-billion dollar companies? How many people do you employ? Show me your hundreds of thousands of employees. Like, please, like, girls, shut up. At any rate, she's under fire. Pam Bondi and them, they're too busy getting ready to interrogate these cartel members because the cartel is getting out of hand at the border. Personally, I say you use the military drones, and in order to cover your tail, as far as executing people who cross that border to come to the United States, you put them signs up on the Mexican side of the border. Abby Phillips, like a moron. No, not her. It was who's the race baiter on The View? Who's the race pimp on The View?
Sonny Hostin.
All of them.
Sonny Hostin had the unmitigated gall to say that Trump is being racist because of the southern border. And it's like, you moron. There's about 50 countries south of Texas. How many countries are north of Minnesota? How many countries are north of Minnesota?
2. Name
them.
Greenland and Canada.
Right. I don't think anybody from Greenland is sneaking across the border. Do you think so?
Nope.
Right. The people
that's a hell of a walk, though.
Right. So the people from South America are coming up through the southern border because it's the weakest link. It's the weakest link. This is where the problem is. It has nothing to do with racism. You got Russians that are coming up through the southern border. What is she talking about? You got the Chinese, you got Iranians, you got Palestinians, you got everybody coming up through the southern border.
Yep.
It's the most unsecure spot in the country. This is what Zelensky was talking about. You have the waters. You have the waters. Soon you will feel it. Like, no, we won't. Once we get you out of office and once we sign these peace treaties and get you out of office, we're not worried. The reason why Russia keeps breaking peace treaties with you is because you have Biden in office. Biden was just feeding you money and weapons. We're not doing that anymore. So now you got to go to the UK and these morons are talking about feeding you money and weapons. Man, woo.
Well, Trump said today, no more weapons for you.
Personally, I don't think Zelensky gonna make it to 2026. I'll be surprised if he was still around in 2026.
No comment.
I don't see him in 90 days.
Damn. You give even less time. Okay.
90 days.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Red. Go ahead, Red.
That's crazy.
Nah, 90 days. Because I would not, I knowing Trump, his personality, if this was somebody else, like BGS said 2 years later, he'd have a heart attack or something or die in his sleep. But knowing Trump's personality, he's probably on the phone right now to Putin, like, you know what? Open the gates of hell. And just to be petty, because we're talking about King Petty here.
Well, he just cut off the weapons, so yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or he might be working in the backgrounds, finding some desperate schlup that's in his inner circle to stage a coup, to overthrow him.
There it is, right there.
Yep.
There it is, right there. There it is, right there.
We'll make you the leader. You can have all the women's you want, monies. Hey, you could be my friend. You know, we've been a friend very long time. Best friend. You'll get all the media publicity and you'll be leader. We want your minerals. Good earth. Because you got good earth there. So we need your good earth.
We need some of that good earth from you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if through U.S. intelligence that it wound up getting leaked to Russia where Zelensky lays his head at night. He said they tried to kill him at least 4 times. He said, you think Putin gonna get him, not Trump? Yeah, it's definitely gonna be Putin because he's right there. But, in order for the U.S. to, keep their, the whole throw the rocks, hide your hands, keep your hands clean, I wouldn't be surprised if they wound up leaking to Putin where Zelensky lays his head at night. All of his
hypersonic missile there. Boom.
Yeah. All his little secret little spots and everything and whatnot. I would not be surprised if they all of a sudden got lit up. You say the next 3 months, what? I don't blame you.
Or you might have a La Femme Nikita, if you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I think he's gay, isn't he? Oh no, he's got a wife, but I think she might be a beard with the stuff we've seen of him.
Well, a La Femme Nick. Then.
Ilhan Omar's brother.
Yeah,
Send him.
A little, get a little bussy.
Wild stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like they're doing a duet on the piano.
So, y'all ready to move on?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Scott Jennings, my favorite CNN commentator. The delusional Democrat plot to sabotage Trump's Ukraine peace deal and how it risks plunging us all into World War III. Before I read this, I'm gonna send the next story to you. Lewis, to the private chat, to the back chat, so you'll be ready. Okay, y'all ready? All right. So it didn't take long for Democrats to fall back on their failed Russia playbook, but here we are. On Sunday, Connecticut Democrat Senator Chris Murphy accused Donald Trump of running his White House like an arm of the Kremlin, of course. Sound familiar? After deploying the Russian collusion lie, financed by Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign and spread by negligent mainstream media in 2021 to derail the first months of Trump's first term, the left is at it again. Wow, I have never known them to be so fair and balanced. Daily Mail. All right, but now, beyond sabotaging a duly elected president and needlessly dividing the country, their underhanded tactics are standing in the way of peace and even flirting with World War III. Here's the undeniable truth. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky made a serious mistake in his Oval Office meeting with the president on Friday. All he had to do was put on a tie, say thank you, eat lunch, and sign an agreement providing for U.S. involvement in the development of Ukrainian raw earth materials. Ukrainian raw earth materials. I thought I read that wrong. Let's see. It's a deal that would have come with a tacit U.S. security guarantee. I'm sorry, a tacit U.S. security guarantee. And if Zelensky had grasped that, then he would have set his country on a possible path to resolving the conflict in Russia. I'm going to say it again. Y'all know why he don't want to sign that deal, right?
Why?
I'm going to let y'all call it. How come he don't want to sign that deal?
Why?
Probably a combination of reasons. One, they're offering him money. Two, they're threatening him. Three, he's stupid. But
he will be irrelevant. He will lose all power.
That too.
I think he know that the second he signed that deal, his death clock is ticking. That deal is his death.
It's probably too late for that. It's already ticking.
Yeah, it will just speed up. He's trying to slow it down. See,
Hey,
Obama, his boyfriend.
doesn't Zelensky have property in Florida in America?
There's a
Like
lot of
that means
Russians.
something?
There's a lot of Russians in Florida.
Right.
Well, the best thing he could do is sign it and stay in Florida, but stay on his compound and don't leave.
They would. Are you kidding me? They will mess around there. Remember V for Vendetta?
Uh-huh.
Remember in the female congresswoman's chamber or whatnot in her bedroom? I killed you 10 minutes ago. After they had that talk, he was like, he pulled out the needle. I killed you 10 minutes ago. Like, you can be in any type of compound. It don't matter. If somebody want to get to you, they will get to you. They will get to you. Instead, he decided to lecture and become argumentative with Trump and his cabinet. The results were predictable. But if you listen to many Democrats and those in the pundit class, they seem to be cheering Zelensky on and accusing Trump of all manner of traitorous behaviors. Trump is a coward who is Vladimir Putin's puppet, said Democratic Congressman Seth Moulton. And he claims Zelensky is a hero. These people just do not know how treasonous they sound, do they?
Nope.
Trump sides with dictators because it legitimizes his plan for America, a Russian-style kleptocracy where the rich steal from us to enrich themselves. Senator Murphy tweeted on Sunday. I wonder what his net worth is. Because a lot of Democrats are multimillionaires off of a salary of less than $200,000. It's rhetoric that rivals the most deranged Democratic smears of 2020. But even Washington Post columnist Josh Rogan grudgingly conceded to me on CNN Friday night that I was right and Zelensky made a terrible misjudgment. And Rogan is as pro-Ukraine as they come. So what's really going on here? But by Murphy's own admission, he was with Zelensky before the disastrous Oval Office meeting. I can't claim to know what he said, but judging from Murphy's tweets, I can hazard a decent guess. I suspect that he and others on the left are, at the very least, stroking Zelensky's fears that Washington is selling him out. Now, I am one to respect those who hold high elected office, but I wouldn't hire Murphy to blow up balloon animals at a kid's birthday, let alone discern the finer points of diplomacy, or, perhaps most importantly, the mood of the America. Okay, that makes sense right there. A CBS News poll shows that the majority of Americans approve of Trump's handling of the Russia-Ukraine war, while Biden's rating at the end of his term was 22 percentage points underwater. In August of 2022, only 31% said they supported a deal that allowed Russia to keep some of the land it has already captured in return for a quick end to that war. Today, 50% want the war to end under those terms. It's a sea change, and if Zelensky doesn't ignore the Democrat clown show, it comes to grips with this new reality that he risks losing U.S. support entirely. Ukraine is not going to secure a U.S. security guarantee by which the United States agrees to put boots on the ground. Ukraine is not a member of NATO and won't be anytime soon. That's what he wants. Y'all know that, right? That's what he wants. That's what he wants. And of course, the UK is trying to they're already talking about putting boots on the ground with NATO. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You're advancing the war. But do understand that if you push Putin too far, he will start targeting your country, especially if you advance into Russia. He's going to drop bombs on the EU, on NATO countries, because you have nothing to offer. Your land is desolate. Y'all do know that, right?
We're talking about EU?
Yes. Their lands offer nobody nothing. I'm sorry?
Except for Italy, Greece, and France.
Don't care. What do they have that Russia wants?
Olives and cheese.
Oh my goodness.
That's all they have to offer. Like, worst case scenario, what we were reviewing years ago when this stuff first started, Poland might get half of Ukraine and the other half might go to Russia as a negotiation, and Ukraine won't exist no more. So keep playing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You say $80 million mansion in Florida up the beach from Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, that's gonna be for sale. I didn't know Zelensky.
Yeah, because Trump lives in Mar-a-Lago. His house is over there. And Trump might take that.
Oh, good Lord. All right, let's get into this. Ukraine is not going to secure a U.S. security guarantee by which the United States agrees to put boots on the ground. Ukraine is not a member of NATO and won't be anytime soon. Surely Zelensky must recognize the dire position he's in. At this point, he must send a clear message that he wants to partner with the United States on Trump's terms. And for goodness sakes, he must stop airing his grievances in public. Yeah, like, dude, you coming off like a little girl. But on Monday, Zelensky appeared to double down on obstinance, telling the Associated Press that an agreement to end the war is still very, very far away. In response, President Trump called a meeting of his cabinet to reportedly consider a possible suspension of U.S. military aid to Ukraine, which of course did happen. You don't have all the wait, please tell me that's what he said. Let me see. Hold on.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Don't you sound like a gangster, a New York gangster?
Yep. And I had to laugh that Zelensky thought that he was talking about, that Trump was talking about playing cards. Remember his response to that? Y'all don't remember his response to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought Trump was talking about playing cards, like Uno or Draw 4 or something. Like, dude, like, oh my God. He about to find out, though. He about to find out. So that's no doubt a worst case scenario. But lest you think that Trump is being unfairly harsh with his Ukrainian counterpart, it's worth noting that former President Joe Biden has also lost his patience with Zelensky. NBC News reported that during a 2022 phone call, Biden lost his temper and instructed Zelensky to show a little more gratitude to his American patrons. Additionally, Friday's public meltdown allegedly followed 10 days of Zelensky being difficult in private, according to U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Even I, a supporter of Ukraine and someone who believes that Putin is a murderous, evil thug who cannot be trusted, have begun to question whether Zelensky is truly ready to take off the military fatigues, literally and figuratively, and don the cloak of diplomacy. He's running out of time to prove, and he should be more cautious who he takes advice from. Yeah. You know what, Lewis? After I read that story, I was 99.9% sure, in agreement with you. Now I'm 100% sure he ain't gonna make it.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna make it.
Look, best case scenario, if he would have took the deal, made Trump look like a hero, because let's be for real, you're dealing with a egomaniac here in Trump. You're not saying that's good or bad. It is what it is. This is who you're dealing with. You do for me, I do for you.
Quid pro quo?
Yeah.
He ain't gonna make it.
He hard Hard head make a soft behind. Hard head make a soft behind.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna learn the hard way. So look, you saw what he said. We have all the cards, but
I don't think he. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You would think, especially you're a head of state. You saw what the government was doing for you prior with Biden, and you had dealings with Biden behind the scenes. You know how the system operates. Now you got Trump. What you wouldn't disrespect Biden. What make you think you're going to disrespect Trump? A head of state.
Zelensky called Biden before he went to see Trump, and Biden told his ass in old, decrepit, dementia terms, talk crazy to him. He'll understand it. And Zelensky literally did, but he didn't know it backfired.
I could have swore to God. I put it to you like this. Everybody know when you in a heated discussion with another man and they sitting on the edge of their seat while talking to you, there is a 75 to 80% chance y'all about to start throwing knuckles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When him and JD Vance was going at it, JD Vance looked like he was ready to throw knuckles. He looked like he was ready to throw knuckles. But the way I see it is, the way this is probably going, I mean, we already know that Zelensky is a dead man walking anyway. But I think the way it's going to go, I think there's probably going to be an orchestrated, and I swear to God, if it's not a missile strike, it'll be a gunfight. I get the feeling that either way, let's say it's not a missile. Let's say that Russia will make on this wall. All right,
you're breaking up.
Is this better? Am I better? Yeah. Right. I get the feeling that it'll be a fifth attempt on his life, and somehow he'll wind up losing. He'll wind up getting capped. And I get the feeling that the bullet will come from friendly fire.
Put Unspoken One's chat up.
What? Not even the 48 Laws of Power? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Do I have to find the book?
I have the book.
Okay. Oh, ED is here. Ed. Oh, Ed. Oh, it's Ed. Okay. Hold on.
Category 5 tsunami in the house. What's up, Ed?
What's up, Ed?
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, what's up?
What's up? You up with the combo?
Yeah, like y'all talking about, I came in right into what I wanted to talk about. Like y'all talking about Zelensky.
Yeah. Yeah. Lewis was saying he ain't gonna make it past 3 months.
Yeah, BGS had a video, like it wasn't even BGS, it was a video he shared with one dude saying Zelensky called JD Vance like some Russian word for a B, like even on that stage. Yeah, I mean, knowing that too, you know, everybody has this like thing, and what's up, everybody? But everybody had this thing where Trump, everybody want to make it about Trump and what he did and how we would be viewed on the world stage. To me, that's what Zelensky did was almost up there. Remember when Obama was giving that on the State of the Union speech and one dude called him a liar?
Oh yeah, he shouted out.
Yeah,
it's like it's on that level, and except he did it to his face. And yeah, Trump could have let JD Vance kind of handle it, but that's not the type of dude Trump is. And Trump did let JD Vance deal with it for a minute, but he was like, no, and for Zelensky to kind of act. First of all, I don't even believe there's any minerals. I think that's a scam, just like with Afghanistan, like that dude said. I think they just saying that, which I'm like, Trump needs to go ahead and recheck that. But And then how the Europeans are acting, you know, being all lovey-dovey with Zelensky standing up to Trump. I'm like, y'all are stupid.
Well, the thing with Ukraine, what Ukraine has is that black soil, which is some of the richest soil in the world, and what comes from Ukraine, agricultural wise, is sunflower oil. They're the breadbasket of Europe, where I think they're number 2 in wheat production, and Russia.
I'm talking about president. All that is, yeah. I'm not trying to cut you off real quick. Everything you're saying is absolutely valid, and I didn't get specific. That's my mistake. I'm talking particularly with the precious minerals, because that's what that deal is being based on. Like the stuff that China has a whole bunch of, with that we need with our technology and stuff systems. But go ahead. I just want to be clear.
And if that was the case, you make a very valid point, because at one point Ukraine was part of the USSR, and if that was the case, when it was the Soviet Union, a lot of that stuff would have been extracted from that land when it was part of the Soviet Union. So
yeah, and so I'm like, and it was a dude that BGS plays all the time that said that, but I heard that from somewhere else. So yeah, man, it's like, I mean, people want to make fun of Zelensky's attire. My thing with that is, honestly, Zelensky always dresses that way. The thing about the because he wants to come off as like this military guy, and that's kind of part of his brand. And so that wasn't a big deal for me. But ultimately, I think Zelensky's ever replaced. We voted, we made a decision. It's not that big of a deal for Ukraine, and nobody's really telling the real reason why we're in Ukraine, you know. So it's all of this. Well, we need to help Ukrainians and all, and a lot of them Ukrainians are racist as hell anyway. So
former Nazis. That's
so
they fled to.
And they want to say that's just propaganda. Well, I don't care about that. Like, I don't believe that's just propaganda.
Well, I agree with you, Edward, with the uniform attire, because nobody says nothing when you have Saudi's head of state come over and they're not wearing a suit. Nobody never said nothing when Yasser Arafat came over with his uniform. So I mean, that was just a roasting session right there, just to diminish his character.
Yeah, and I don't even like Zelensky like that, but I really don't. But like on some real stuff, it's like, yeah, like that's not the biggest deal. I mean, him being mad, like I don't. Again, and them Europeans putting a battery. I mean, at the end of the day, it's crazy because it's like, look, this is white supremacy. So it's kind of like, this is, you know, what did Samuel Jackson say? That's a white man with white problems. It's like all these white people like trying. Europe has benefited a lot from the United States, you know, as far as, I get it, they have some jobs here, but ultimately they've been able to keep people fat on the welfare state because they haven't had to spend money on their military. And there's a lot of entitlement with the Europeans. And, you know, rather than them say, you know, grow some nuts, they want to, you know, throw a thumb at Trump's eye. And I'm going to keep it real. I don't see Trump doing anything Vance doesn't agree with. And Vance is probably going to be the guy you're going to have to deal with. So for Zelensky to kind of start that crap off with Vance, I'm like, Vance is not Trump. Vance has different ideas because he's 40 years old. So it's a lot of this stuff you may not agree with. Him being like an Iraq, that's another thing. To call like an Iraq war, like a Marine, a bitch, like he hasn't been to war, like he doesn't know what that's about. Too, where, I mean, how much fighting has Zelensky actually done himself? Like, what is his military background? Because J.D. Vance actually has one. And truth be told, you know, that's not smart, because J.D. Vance might be somebody, and even if he loses the next election, he has a long time to be able to run. I mean, pretty much Ohio is going to be in his back pocket. And he already has that Southern kind of look. I told you about the Klan eyes.
The Klan eyes.
Yeah, you think them other white women, good old boys, don't see that? They like, you know, they'll let the Indian wife go. I'm sure. Really, that's up to white women whether they can let that go. But the white dudes will let that go.
You know what? They don't.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
With the European thing, why they acting the way they are, you got to remember. Besides France, everybody else in the European Union, they get their military equipment from the U.S. and they are all in this partnership with the F-35 and all these weapon systems. And if Trump withdraws, that puts them in a bind. I mean, yeah, Germany and Great Britain and France, they make a lot of their own land vehicles for the most part, but with the major like Humvee and all the major weapon systems and aeronautics, they have a partnership with the United States. And if the United States withdraw, they're practically in the Stone Age. And the only one that hasn't really was part of that was France. They had their own military autonomy with their own military.
I mean, well, we're not going to withdraw like that. We're just not dealing with Ukraine, and so I mean, we'll still sell them stuff and work with them on that, but it's going to be a renegotiation. And again, what I personally think they're trying to do is they think Trump can be weathered. It's because it's not anything I don't think there's things he's doing that's irreversible with another administration, but what it'll do is it'll set the tone for the next administration. And if it becomes another Republican, like if it does become Vance, I don't see him reversing a lot of that, reversing a lot of stuff. If it's a Democratic thing, they may reverse a good amount. But again, the Democrats are going to have to prove themselves. They can't say, well, Trump did all this bad stuff, vote for us. It's not going to be enough. And they don't seem to be learning from their last mistake. So the Europeans, they benefited from a certain amount of imperialism mindset that America has had along with them. And that's going to be renegotiated because that money has to come somewhere. So they're going to have to cough up more of their money. Like they've let their people be on, and when I say social, I'm not really talking about welfare as much as I'm talking about like they don't have to work as hard as we do. They get all these days, all this plush stuff that even white people here don't really access. They high taxation and they can benefit from that as a unit, but they're gonna have to renegotiate that. And France in particular, France is screwed. Because the Africans are basically telling them to F off. Because, if they're willing to tell the United States to F off, France ain't got a chance. And truth be told, France can't really take on Russia on their own as far as in Africa, especially if the Africans are not being cooperative and then the Chinese are behind them. Well, and honestly, France has created a lot of bad blood with African countries, even more so than the U.S.
Well, hey, Edward, a couple last year, me and Bay had covered when Macron had said those slight remarks towards Putin. Russia sent in some operatives to help stage those coups to kick the French out of the country.
France are the black.
Look, they marched those French soldiers with guns on their shoulders out of the country, hands up, walking backwards with pointed sticks and rocks because they signed that deal with BRICS. And any action taken against them would have been an act of war.
France are the black women of colonialization.
Damn it, boy. Damn it.
Because when it comes down to it, they talk a lot of crap, but when it comes down to it, it was really the United States that had the teeth. And they France is on some whole other stuff. Because don't get me started on that's a whole nother topic with their paternity fraud situation. But I don't know what France. Yeah, there's stuff you can't. It's illegal to even try to get paternity on your kid. That's how stupid France is. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, Zelensky. Yeah, I don't know. Something's gonna happen with him. Because. You already know Putin is going to want to do something because he's had him spend more money. He's had him use too many, Putin's undesirables, for war when he could have saved those undesirables for something that Putin probably would have thought was more necessary. I think Putin thought there was but what would you, and it's just amazing at how the news is just, look, I get it. Russia is not as strong as what people think they are, but at the same time, Russia has weathered a lot more than what people thought they would. And that is kind of a win for Russia.
Military on the planet. But most of that is mainly because of their nuclear arsenal.
Well, yeah, I mean, Russia, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, when it came down to it, without nukes, I mean, we would bury them if we actually went to war. Their biggest asset if it was just them, but it's not just them. The Chinese are behind them, and China and Russia have a strategic partnership for now. Because they have a common enemy in American hegemony. They don't, and I mean, they took their shot. I mean, America took their shot, and it is what it is. So you're gonna have to dial a lot of stuff back. And white people. See, I think the issue is eventually they're gonna have to tell white people that whiteness don't have the same stock it used to, and the media and stuff doesn't know how to really have that conversation.
Yeah, because Russia is the reason why they're number one superpower. They're a superpower, first world country, but they're a first world country they're not beholden to the crown. All right, they're not beholden to the crown. They are literally an independent nation. The thing about it is, you look at this is the way that I see it. With what the EU is doing. And Vance tried to tell them when they were in Munich about a week or 2 weeks ago. He tried to tell the EU, look, right now you're going into a very precarious situation, heading into this whole UK thing. Ukrainian thing, but y'all need to clean up y'all backyard first, like we're cleaning up our backyard, especially politically and socially. If you guys don't do that, y'all don't get y'all immigration situation under control, your media under control, your politics under control, your country is going to fall. Like Duel said, Britain has 70,000 troops. That's laughable. They actually, I think they said they had less than that. I think they said they had 20,000 that they could put on the ground out of 100,000, which is why they're getting NATO involved. Because they don't have the forces. They don't have the ground forces. I mean, look, I really do think that what the UK is doing right now is straining their relations with the United States. It's straining the relations. So it's like they're going to go in there, try to kick up dust, because, I mean, to be honest, there is mineral rights that's going on in the UK. They show, all of the situations going on with the mining and everything. But even if it's propaganda, but let's say it's true, the UK want a bigger piece of the cut than what we are getting, if not equal, which means that which means a lesser piece of the pie for us in Russia, with Ukraine trying to also get a little bit more because it's our land. So they want more than everybody else. No, Trump is not going to play that game with them because of the money that they owe us.
Hey, Bay.
Yeah.
People also, when this Ukraine war popped off, everybody in NATO donated so much of military equipment. Has Great Britain replenished that equipment with manufacturing, when they sent over their tanks and their artillery systems over to Ukraine?
You tell me.
I don't think so.
No. And just to give you a little insight, all the tanks and howitzer systems that was sent over to Ukraine, that came from the United States Marine Corps. Because when two commandants ago, General Berger, when he had rearranged the structure of the United States Marine Corps, he got rid of the tank battalions and he changed over a lot of the artillery units to what's those that rocket where they shoot out the HIMARS and all that the rockets, but it's a few artillery batteries left, but all those howitzers and tanks that came from the Marine Corps.
And where are they now?
In Ukraine. That's what was sent over to Ukraine.
No, I'm saying, where are they now?
Blown up.
Because I mean, we sit up here. I can look at the videos, right? The videos of all the wars that's going on in Ukraine. Matter of fact, you and I watched the video last year.
Yeah.
When with the minefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, them tanks were barely providing any cover. Them people act like they didn't even know what the hell they were doing. Why you got soldiers walking through a minefield when you got tanks? Why are they getting their legs blown off when you've got tanks? Get in on the tanks, roll through the minefield through safety, and then depart, debunk, and then you go and assault. What the hell are you doing? Who is leading their military over there in Ukraine? These people are incompetent. They're incompetent. Oh my God. At any rate, this is why ever since the whole situation happened where the EU wanted to get involved, the UK wanted to get involved, what did Putin wind up doing? Who did he wind up recruiting immediately once the UK started flapping their gums?
Belarus.
Who else?
Iran.
The Taliban too. Yeah, they had regular citizens fight. Now they got special needs people. Now they snatching people off the streets. We saw the videos. More bodies, more sympathy, more money. Yeah. So now you got Russia recruiting the Taliban to fight against the UK. I'm sorry. Hey, UK, EU, Germany, France, England, etc. Who are you letting into your country by the tens of thousands? Who are they letting in?
A lot of people from Muslim countries.
Yes.
And they just had
African
a terrorist attack today in Germany.
Good Lord. So what do you why do you think remember, I've been saying this for the longest. Why do you think Trump is trying to get rid of Trenda Allegra and other gangs like that and the cartels, etc.? Why do you think he's going after the criminal illegals first and anybody else that had any dealing with them? You don't see them running up in hotels, cleaning out the whole housekeeping and laundry staff, talking about, oh, you're illegals. No. You need to get rid of your terrorist element first and foremost. That's what they're doing. The UK is sitting up here. Yes, you can have great gangs roam through our streets and attack our little white girls and whatnot. We'll cover it up because it's part of your culture. I mean insanity. Mm-hmm. This is what JD Vance was trying to tell them in Munich. Y'all need to reverse all of this because you're leaving yourself wide open. And when crap hits the fan on you, especially now that's the one thing that I feared, which was having a foreign power hire these illegals, these criminal illegals, to cause chaos and destruction here in the United States. You've just opened you put yourself in that very same situation. And the thing about it is that you're too goddamn stupid to realize that you need to reverse it because you left yourself wide open for this. Mm-hmm. Why are you listening to BlackRock? Why are you listening to George Soros? What the fuck is wrong? Are you really this guy? You know what? That's what you get. That's what you get. You about to get what you deserve. Oh yeah, I know. Swear jar. Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, that's a dollar. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, that's $1.
I'm upset because I don't even care about these countries. I don't live there. But I'm upset because common sense would tell you, hey, look, I need to secure my borders. I need to lock this stuff down. I need to help build my military, and I need to use diplomacy in order to survive, because we can't afford to go to war. We can't afford to go to war.
So are you talking about the Ukraine?
No, I'm talking about the EU.
Okay. So the problem with okay, I hear you. So the problem with the EU, because that's what I thought you were talking about, is there are people, they know that those same politicians are not going to be in office because they're you see what's going on in France with that like vest jacket thing. You see what's going on in the UK because the UK thought it was a good idea to leave. The UK should have never left the European Union, and they don't even want to own up to that, because the both of those entities needed each other. The people don't want to make that decision. They really don't. Even the folks that want to say, okay, we're not going to deal with immigrants. Well, the BGS explained it. It's been explained. The reason why immigration is even a thing is because of their demographical numbers. White people are not having babies, and because I really, as far as immigration, I might F it too. So let me start off that. But Europe, I say this on your platform uniquely because you've said it. Europe has a worse issue with having children as far as white people than even the white people in America do. And it's been going on for longer. And so there's a certain level of audit. Now, obviously, they don't want to publicly say that because that's them saying that they're on their way out the door, which they're not going to disclose that publicly. But there's a certain level of honesty that white people are just not willing to have. Like, I don't get it. Like, white women, I keep saying, you're talking about white genocide. There is no conversation about white genocide without white women being involved in that. Like, I don't, like, it's somehow, it's not white women are not having children. Now, some of that is ability with white men, because that is not, and some of it is they don't want to have it.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
I talked about this back in 2018. 2018. Because tell me if this sounds familiar to you. I was watching Meet the Press Sunday, 6 a.m. And the guy was saying, hey, for the next 12 years, the earth is going to go through some cataclysmic events that we can't stop. There's nothing we can do about it. All right. So now you see all these little goofy white people talking about climate change and everything. That's because the Earth's magnetic field has sped up. It's let through harmful radiation for people who are non-melanated people. And the biggest thing that it's done is killed off their sperm count, their ability to reproduce children like this. It's not a 4B movement. It's not about economics. They're not able to produce children like they used to. And
they always had an issue
dramatically.
And you know what's fun? And I was watching this show. It's a good show, Severance. And this last episode, it was one of the white characters and an Asian character, and they had to go to a fertility clinic because she's having kids. And Black culture, and I would argue Hispanic culture, that's alien. That's alien to us. This is what I mean when I say dog whistle. That's alien to us going to a fertility clinic, so it doesn't have the same kind of impact. The only time you see Black people talk about some fertility clinic is if they want to have kids north of 40, or when they ain't got no business having. But when you in your 20s, yeah, even Russell, the dude that created ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson, he talked about that, how him and his wife had to go to a fertility clinic, and this is when he was in his late 20s, early 30s, and she was in her they're in their 20s, they're late 20s. We're not talking about they're out of it for having kids. He's a Christian guy, old school. He wanted so.
Are they white?
Huh?
Are they white or black?
White as hell.
Okay, all right.
Both of them, yeah. So my point is that's what I mean when I say dog whistle. That stuff resonates with them versus with black people and Hispanic, that kind of goes over our head because we don't have that same kind of situation. We're way more familiar with abortion than we are a fertility clinic. And so my point is, they've been going through that. And so now what you're talking about with the earth speeding up, that's made it worse. And so, and then on top of the feminism, then there's a fourth industrial complex where the need for children, you know, from a practical standpoint, like more working hands is not necessary. On top of the feminism, I mean, you just got a perfect storm.
Yeah,
really.
And it's kind of ironic because they know, like, with their sperm count going low, why do you think they're going hard in the paint trying to push the AB on us?
Well, I mean, they can try to do that all they want to, but that's not gonna work. I mean, because ultimately, it's not working in mass. I mean, the women are cooked, but the women are cooking themselves. Once these women, they're seeing that their quality. See, what happens with a lot of the alphabet stuff is the reason why that hasn't completely collapsed on itself yet is because women do that African kinship network BS. And I've seen it. Like, women will put their money, they'll go 50-50 on each other because they have to. Because they can't play. Nobody has the masculine role. So typically they'll do this like we're kind of like Bonnie and Clyde against the system, and they'll do that. And so that's kind of economically helping some of them for now. But when you get them chicks that really be on that BS, which is what these studs are starting to sound the alarm about, where they really lazy hoes, for a lack of a better term, you know, and if it ain't gonna be a man, they want somebody to subsidize them. See, you're starting to see it, but a lot of these women, even the ones that got kids, see, they starting to try to pull up with each other to consolidate resources. And then they'll sell black men whatever BS they think they need to sell them about what a man needs to do, which, by the way, is not working because other groups of women are offering better deals. And yeah, do I believe that being black should be the tiebreaker? Sure. Do I believe that if you get within a certain realm of compatibility, that being black should count for something? Sure. But at the same time, if you're like a D student and we're dealing with somebody that's coming with me with a C plus with the potential of being a B minus, you being black doesn't bridge that gap. It just doesn't. You know, you got black women, like somebody told me that in certain areas that you can still pass a grade with a 50% and more than a 50%. Versus when I went to school, if you got anything less than a 70, you failed.
Hold on, Ed, 2 minutes so we can get back on topic. We're losing track of the topic.
All right, no. My point is that you have to be able to be competitive. And going back into the European thing when it comes to having kids, just to dial it back. Again, they don't want to come into compatibility. Basically, what I'm saying is this: Europeans are acting like black women, the European population. And when you tell them you need to do little things in order to be better, basically what J.D. Vance did, pretend J.D. Vance was talking about a whole bunch of black women and telling black women they need to do better. Y'all need to learn to cook and clean, not for a man, but for your children. But they still want to scoff at you. That's basically the response J.D. Vance got. And that's why Europeans, the way they act, they're trying to I need to preserve the status quo mode, not understanding the status quo is gone. What do you see black women doing? The status quo has been gone, but let Kevin tell them they need to do right. They tell Kevin Samuels to rest in hell. I'm done. I'll leave it there.
No, you fine. But yeah, I think with the EU, what they've done right now, what they're doing right now, as far as with their country, and then trying to cut. Somebody drop? Oh yeah, Al dropped. He'll probably be back. With what the EU was trying to do, we're trying to get a bigger cut of the pie of these Ukrainian mineral rights, whether they real or not. I think what they've done, I think they have really. The best analogy I can give you is that your brother stole your wife's $12,000 tennis bracelet that you got her for Christmas 2 years ago. You stole it. Is he back? There you go. Oh, it's International Jay. What's up, Jay?
What's going on, brother? Shout out to the panel.
Yeah, the EU are about to be shown that they ain't got no teeth for real, because they about to get punched in their chest and be out the fight, and be exposed that the EU ain't nobody to worry about. Because without the United States really behind them, what they gonna do? They not gonna do nothing. They ain't got the troops to send to Africa.
They don't have the political power. They really have nothing. Like, in all honesty, we as America, we have surpassed them in so many ways. You know, like it's almost like, you know how your little brother, you beat up on him while he's a little kid and a teenager, and all of a sudden he goes off to the military at 18, and then he comes back at 24, and not only is he taller than you, but he's a hulky mass of muscles. You know what I'm saying? And you get to try to plan with him, and he mess around here and give you like 30% power, punch in the chest, and it feel like 80. Like, yo, man, I don't play like that no more. That's us to the EU. We're not punks anymore. We got a man. Let's just be honest. Trump is a man. We got a man in the office, and he's grooming JD Vance, who's already a man. He's grooming him on how, hey, look, this is how things work in Washington. This is how it go. Follow my lead. I'm gonna teach you how to talk to these people, who you can trust. Already got the cabinet in place. You stay with this. You stick with what I'm doing. You stick with what I'm doing. Blondie and them, that let them get their feet wet. By the time I'm done and you come in the office, everything gonna be gravy. All you gotta do is just keep the train running. Just keep the train running on time. So what's up, Jay? What you got to say on this?
I see both sides of the coin. Look, my initial readout, right, was, you know, what the hell are they doing? You know, they're trying to get World War III back popping again. But now when I kind of look back at the whole, I guess, game board, if you will, if you think about it, outside of Ukraine, Europe has had the most to lose from this. So I'm thinking about it from their perspective, right? Okay, so the Biden administration comes in, we get together, we discuss this plan to try to take out Russia. We're going to stop taking cheap Russian oil, cheap Russian gas, and we're going to get more expensive energy from elsewhere. This is causing us to deindustrialize. This is causing our economies to decrease, our GDP to decrease. France already got kicked out about 4 or 5 different African countries, so we can't get that good old colonial money anymore. What is the point of us doing this shit if we did not win? Now we have a new administration up here that is completely doing the 180. So they probably like, hold on, hell with that. You know, we've been missing out on this cheap Russian energy sources for the past 4 years. Maybe we'll try to keep this shit going a little bit longer. Maybe something might happen to finally make Russia collapse out of the blue. You know what I mean?
That's they dumb ass. I mean, I agree. That's a good devil's advocate.
That's why I think they're coming from.
Yeah,
that's where I think they're coming from. Because remember, United States was telling everybody, "Hey, don't buy no more Russian oil. We're gonna put sanctions on them." You know, all the people in the media was like, "Oh, Putin got cancer. He's gonna be dead in a few months."
Yep.
The Russians gonna run out of ammo by the end of 2023. Remember all those old stupid articles that was coming out? You know what I mean?
You know what that sound? You know what that sound like, Jay? That sound like black women saying the white women basically told us that we were gonna usurp patriarchy, and they went along with that, and now they realize that shit ain't done. Now they trying to act like they victims. they knew what it was. They know about Russia more than the U.S. do in a lot of ways because they right up in there. Poland wasn't on that bullshit. That's on them. They knew what they were dealing with. They've been going through the bullshit since Greece. They're going through the bullshit since Greece. They knew it wasn't sustainable.
Here's the thing, though. They knew the part where I think they miscalculated is I don't think they thought Trump was going to win until towards
nobody. He wasn't supposed to. Yeah.
I think that they thought Biden, Kamala was going to be in that second term, and it was going to be his business as usual.
Trump wasn't
So that's really where I think the monkey wrench kind of went into their system. Like, oh shit, we about to have
we're living in an alternate dimension.
Yeah, because it was no coincidence that 3 days after between Biden and Trump that they tried to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. They've had 2 public assassination attempts. You had the one where he was partying, he get shot in the head. You had the guy that was I think he was at Mar-a-Lago that tried to take him out.
And that third person who didn't even get a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think recently they had to scramble jets to Mar-a-Lago like last week. So they were scrambling jets, so they had some situations on that. So it's like, hey, we tried our best to keep his ass out of there. I mean, we put about 20 different court cases against his ass. He beat most of them.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
imagine if you throw the book at somebody, like you're opposing the person you don't want to get in, and like this motherfucker beat all that shit. So now, what are you gonna do? Like, all right, I guess we're gonna try to put our money up and try to keep this thing going a little bit longer. Otherwise, what else are we gonna do? I mean, the damage is done. You have 4 years of not taking, cheap oil and gas from Russia. And they're deindustrializing, So
the reality is we act like, if you look at it, okay, so Europe.
Hold on, I'll let you have it, but I will put it to you like this: when you go for the king, finish it off.
You better not miss.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, well, if they let's keep it real. If Europe was getting cheap oil, let's say they were getting cheap oil. Let's say they were getting cheap oil and everything was going fine. None of this ever happened. Nothing changes. Like, they're still in the same. They may not be as in things happening as rapidly, granted, but they would still be in this situation. It would just be slower. At the end of the day, the Africans are doing what they're doing. It's speeding up because Russia has an invested interest in undermine. They got to do what they got to do to undermine the Europeans and Americans as a consequence of what they're having to deal with. And so that's the immediate. But behind that, you got China. Like China is, even though China's doing its own thing on stuff on the continent, you're not. The Africans know they can depend on them. And so even as long as they do deals with the Chinese and deal with the Chinese, the stuff, the BS that comes along with that. So ultimately, your leverage is not there. It's kind of like an abuser. It's like an abuser. They had a gun on you the whole time and they did all of this unspeakable stuff to you or whatever. And then all of a sudden you get the gun. And then, how these, it's almost comedic how they be like, well, we were friends, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality they're on. And that's from people that are in the know. For people that are not in the know, because you got to really think about it. Most of the pseudo racist white folks, the white folks that like to say it's not about race, but it's always about race with them. The conservative they're not talking about the BRICS. They're not talking about none of this. In their mind, this stuff is not happening. But they're talking more domestic. They're talking more, they want to talk DEI all day, every day. And I'm like, yo, y'all got bigger problems to worry about than some DEI that it turns out white women and to extension you were benefiting from. Kathleen Kennedy.
Fellas, Red, AB, International J, Al, what have I been saying ever since Trump got elected? about racism?
I don't know.
What did you say? What did you say?
I've been saying, don't worry about that. That's the last thing that should be on your mind. Getting your money together. Your money, the weapons, your food, all that stuff. You need to be getting that stuff together because we still not out of the woods. We're still not out of the woods because let's be honest. If you mess around there, if Putin mess around there and destroys either France or the UK, we have no choice but to get involved. Because it's like, all right, we may be having a tit for tat with them, but we're not just gonna sit there and let you just do that. You know,
They're not gonna. I ain't gotta worry about that because China's not gonna let that happen because China's playing the long game. So
Yeah.
and that interferes with they already honestly China already didn't like how long this because remember China and Russia have common interests, but China ain't never forgot about how what is the name? Stalin used to son Mao. They ain't forgot about that. But at the same time, they also ain't forgot about the opioid wars. So they got common interest.
All the opioid, they had to shoot people in the head and turn.
Well, yeah, because of the UK. So they know what the West is about, and it's like, but at the same time, they're kind of like, okay, this needs to get wrapped up. And now that it seems like it's going to be wrapped up again, we're in an alternate dimension right now with Trump being in there. It's like, okay, Russia has a lot more leverage now, and China's like, all right, because it looks like this is going to be crazy. But if they start getting crazy like that, here's the thing: if Putin, the argument Putin has always had is we're doing what we're doing because you're not, just like how we're not going to put bombs on Cuba to come to you. You're not about to put Ukraine here. That was a red line. Also, we know Russia wants a warm water port. They get both of that stuff with Ukraine, and whatever that deal comes through, they start pushing into Europe and they start trying to deal with it. That's going to be a problem. And here's another thing. Even if you take China out of the equation, let's say Russia does do that. There's no way you do that and you're not putting your prime Russian citizens on the table. You do that, they're on the table, and Putin's not gonna do that because now at that point, and also here's another thing too. He start doing that, then it's gonna be like, I don't care what happens, he's got to go. Let's be real. If they really wanted to pop him, and they really want on some, but Bin Laden, we got to get him. The U.S. could get him, but that sets a kind of mutually assured destruction. That sets a metric for the top heads of states on,
yeah, buttons.
But if he started playing with Europe like that, yeah, that would be a different equation. And that's
what I'm getting at. If the UK through the EU force Putin's hand because of manpower to where he feel that he gotta, even if it's hypersonic or tactical, even if it's tactical nukes. If you come to that point, if you start bombing the UK or the EU, any EU countries, the US is going to have to set aside their differences, and they're going to have to get involved because they all have a vested interest.
Yeah, but with Trump, all that is dead with Trump getting in there because the pressure, because now it's like all this pressure that Putin was being under, all of that is being like the water's being turned off. I mean, you see that was true before the Zelensky situation. Zelensky wouldn't have popped off like that if it wasn't real things not going the way that he wanted. And that's why the Europeans are talking about, well, we'll do it ourselves. The Europeans are not capable of doing it because their people are fat on the hog. And so for you to actually have to do it on your own is going to require you to be honest with your people in a way that they're not. And I don't give a damn about what they say. Them European populists don't give a fuck about it that much to start really sacrificing. They don't care about Ukraine that much.
Plus, they are not. Okay, I'm looking off in the distance. I hear what you're saying, but I'm looking at the outcome of this being very bad because the UK are not like America. All right, we are very physically violent people. We are desensitized to. We watch people getting stomped out and murked and whatnot. We watch those videos for fun. Okay, whereas they, tea and crumpets and I mean, that they're throwing their own citizens in jail for Facebook posts and Twitter posts and all this stuff.
People and shit.
Right, they're a very pussified nation. They're a very pussified nation. So we're not going to have a choice but to wind up getting involved unless we can figure out a way. You know what? Let's just be honest. You got to bring Zelensky back to the table. But in all honesty, I have to be honest. What they really need to do, the U.S., they need to go find a way to arrest and suspend his presidency in Ukraine. You have to find a way to do that, because in all honesty, all of this would have been over if he wasn't there. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, but a lot of what he's doing is because the Europeans on the low are trying to play games, because they still think Trump and Vance to be, because they don't really, you gotta be real, they don't know Vance like that. Vance ain't they would have never fucked with Hillary like this. If Hillary would have went a different way than they wanted to go, because they know what Hillary is about, versus they don't know what Vance is about. They seeing Vance is basically, they look at Vance as some hillbilly that used to be a Marine. They're not seeing him. They don't treat Vance as, here's the thing. I'm very neutral on Vance, because, I know how stuff could go, and I know what them Ohioans are about, the good and the bad. But it's something, I've lived there. I got family there. I know. I'm
an Ohioan. I know.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm an Ohioan. I know how they go. Them hillbillies
they'll call you the N-word, and then they'll act like they just called you a B, and they were drunk. Like, you just supposed to accept that. Like, So my point is, it's something about Vance that Vance is almost being treated almost like a black dude, where people just keep trying him this shit and try him. This was even going on in the news cycle, where people would pop on him in a way I haven't seen people pop on any other senator. Like, even at the senatorial level, like even minority women, white women, they'll just get real extra fritzy, where the point is Vance has to assert himself. Now he does, but just the fact he has to do it would have you thinking this must be somebody that's not white, or he can't be white, because the way they acting is it's the same thing with the Europeans. He goes over there and it's like, y'all are acting like what he's like, you're talking to him like he's not a potential next president you have to deal with. And it's like, it's like, oh, well, he's being treated like he's a millennial, and they, what they're treating him like how they should have been treating Kamala Harris. This ain't serious, like this ain't really serious. Give me the boss. You just sending me the child, and it's like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it real. In a lot of ways, you need to worry more about JD Vance than Trump, because JD Vance is a politician. JD Vance is a politician's politician. JD Vance was a venture capitalist. So don't act like he just is ignorant to he knows the business sector, the private sector. He has the kind of look that white people would very much. The only thing JD Vance is missing is the white wife. He
is the younger version of Trump. If you remember how Trump,
I do believe JD Vance is his own person. But what I'm saying, but yeah.
Listen, when Trump was like in his 30s, 40s, right? He was very reserved. He wasn't how he is now. That comes from age and wisdom, the Trump that you see now. Plus being in the media market and everything. But Trump was never a politician. JD Vance is not only, like you said, venture capitalist. Not only is he a businessman, but he is also a politician, and he came from poverty. So he's like I have to be honest. He's Trump 2.0. He's a way more polished version of him. But you see
And
him,
he's a Marine.
huh?
And he's a Marine. And
Right.
he's a Marine that had time to think about. He's not somebody that, everything America did. He's unapologetic pro-American, but from a policy standpoint, he doesn't agree with everything the Bush administration did. Like as far as from a strategic American interest standpoint. And he's willing to openly say that. So just like Tulsi Gabbard and them are willing to say. So the point is, you know this when you're dealing with this man. The military is going to be cool with him because he was a Marine, and obviously he's a VP, he's a senator. He's had to earn, and the military will probably have us. Because here's the thing: there's something that probably the military would take pride in, as this is a white dude that did not come from like money and the best of the best, and
Exactly.
the military was like the turning point in him having the opportunity to be what he is now. You know what I'm saying?
Quick question. First, I'm gonna go in order. Red, what dirt do they have on Trump? I mean, have on Vance.
JD Vance.
Yeah, what dirt do they have on him?
That I don't know, unless they pull up something from his military record, or if he had any problems growing up in the trailer park.
AB,
Yeah.
what dirt do you think they might have on Vance?
I don't know. He did an Indian woman?
International J. Oh no, that's nothing. Jay, what do you have? What do you think they have?
Who is they?
They, as far as okay, let's go Democrats. What dirt do they have on Vance? What do you think they can use against him?
Yeah, I don't think they have anything. He's too bold. The way he's acting too bold for me to think they have something on him.
Ed?
They would have put it out already. JD Vance has a book. I actually did a video that I experimented with AI on, where I translated an article that said 21 things about JD Vance, and JD Vance has a book out there. He has a book. If they had stuff, they would have put it. Remember, they didn't want Trump in the White House. JD Vance torpedoing him would have been able, like waiting for him to get selected and be torpedoed would have been a way to keep him out of the White House. They were pulling all the stops. If they had something on Vance, they would have put it out. If they had something on his wife, they would have put it out. If they had it, they would have put this. This would have been the time to torpedo this man. Not once he gets it.
Can't call him racist because of his family dynamic. Can't call him a leader because of his background.
And for Christ's sakes, JD Vance's children have Indian first names.
Right. So it ain't like he tried to whitewash him. He's got a military record. He knows finance. You have nothing on this guy.
And the dude, I mean, I hate to say this, and this will sound crazy, but he's low key the closest thing that the Republicans are gonna have to an Obama, like as far as skill, as far as things coming together and skill. He's damn near the anti-Obama, man.
He talks the way he carries himself. You never see him get out of presidential character. Even when he was going at it with Zelensky, he was still being very professional with how he was talking to him. Yeah,
and if Zelensky's gonna calling him whatever word he called her, I'm like, yo, JD Vance can beat your ass, man. Like just on some real stuff. Like, first of all, look, I'm a short guy, and I'm not saying to stand down, but the reality is Vance wasn't even coming at you like that. You're the one, because it's not like, okay, Vance is trying to sun him. You want to it's like, again, Zelensky was acting like a black woman, where he's like, I'm going to get this off. And you got to think about it. He waited. I've said this before. I'm going to say this again. I have a lot more leeway on how we communicate privately than publicly. If you try to embarrass me publicly, you try to sun me publicly as my woman, that's zero tolerance, meaning you don't get a second chance to do that. Because I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to use the environment to put me in a pressure cooker situation where I smack your ass, or I gotta, try to get out of the situation, and you're not my girl if you do that. That's awesome. That's what Zelensky did from a diplomatic standpoint. He purposely did that, and then he sat there and I don't care if the Europeans gassed him up to do that. That is very bad how he did that. And like you picked the right one. The truth be told,
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, and truth be told, Obama wouldn't have been the one to pull that shit either.
What'd you say?
But Obama would have handled it. Obama would have handled it behind the scenes See, Obama was the type of person where he would have kept a good face and it would have been fine. But behind the scenes, he'd probably have a much more stronger reaction than even Trump, like as far as policy.
Wow. All right, so let's move on. What's the next story? You got it?
Yes, sir.
All right,
let me go to the screen.
Because we'll be here all night talking about this.
Alina Habba says there will absolutely be new criminal prosecutions from Epstein list release. Americans should expect to see new criminal prosecutions brought against individuals revealed to be involved in Jeffrey Epstein's pedophilic sex trafficking ring.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Counselor to the president, Alina Habba, said those on the client list and who protected their friends from being outed as rapists and who likes cheese pizza need to be held accountable. She also said the incredibly disturbing documents includes flight logs and information with names of clients who engage in illegal activity.
You threw that in there.
Asked if the government will be pursuing criminal charges against these individuals, Habba said, absolutely. I think it would be negligent for us not to, she told Piers Morgan on his show Uncensored. You have to hold individuals who are indeed rapists accountable. We need to have them tried, in my opinion. Nobody should be dismissed, she went on. You have to have your time in court and your case will be heard. But to hide lists, to protect political friends, all of that, we don't have time for that. But the New York Post reports that a client list is not among the information that will be included in the initial release. Shazam.
This is kind of like Homelander. Remember that scene with Starlight and Homelander said, come on, you know what, do it. Let's light this candle. Sure, I'll lose everything, but I'll have nothing to lose. The reality is if you label a rich person, like a very rich and powerful person, like a pedophile, okay, you've labeled them that, but they still got their money. They may lose. They still got income they developed. It's not like all their investments and everything just necessarily disappears. Yeah, people might not want to deal with them, but they still got a lot of resources before they run out of their resources to come and deal with you. And if you're gonna put somebody out there like that, let's keep it real. At that point, they don't care. They're like, your kids are on the line. If I'm already this, and you've already marred my family, I'm going genetic tree on you, and on anybody involved. Meaning, so I'll believe it when I see it.
All right, go ahead, Louis.
No, that's all.
No, there's more. Scroll down.
It is?
Yeah. Scroll down.
Oh shoot. Let me because I took the screen down.
Oh, you took the screen down.
Wait, let me share screen. I thought that was it.
No.
Well, all this
jumping guns.
No, because I was going down. I see all these other all this spam and stuff on this page.
Right.
They need to organize their page better. The files were compiled in binders circulating around the White House on Thursday afternoon, labeled Phase 1, suggesting that more drops will be forthcoming. One person who reviewed the files in the West Wing said the release will likely be a disappointment to those eager for bombshell new evidence that connects Epstein to prominent political figures and business leaders.
Mm.
The only person who has been tried and convicted so far in the Epstein gas is British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein HD.
Secretary. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They need better editing.
I think those supposed to be had, yeah.
Yeah, Epstein had a decades-long association with Maxwell. She was convicted in 21 on federal charges for sex trafficking after she recruited young girls for the cheese pizza ring, as well as child abuse and prostitution. Attorney General Pat Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel were at the White House on Thursday morning ahead of their promised release of the so-called Epstein files. There's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway and we don't take it home, Abbas said, of bringing new criminal charges in the Epstein case. And I really believe now with Cash and Palm, there will be accountability. The documents hit Bondi's desk earlier this week, and she said they will be made public on Thursday. Abbas said that information in the documents will reveal the extent of the scandal is far worse than was expected after Bondi revealed on Wednesday that there are 250 victims whose identities she needs to protect. We have to be patient when you're dealing with victims, Abba told Morgan. After Epstein's death in August of 19, many felt justice would not be brought to the victims of his organized sex trafficking operation, and that the identity of his co-conspirators will forever remain a government secret. But Trump issued an executive order last month directing Bondi to release previously classified records, including the Epstein files and documents on the assassination of JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr.
So we got Charles. He finally made it on, CF time.
Yeah, I had to. I was having computer problems.
Oh no, you good? We good. We already said, you come when you come. We ain't even sweating it.
Play his intro.
Switching on that.
You gonna play his intro? All right.
Yeah. Oh my God, who made that intro?
Some black dude named
I know.
Some black people with good hair, man.
Yeah.
So,
Comment on deck.
now y'all can hear. So I sent. What's up? No news. Oh, got blood boiling. He done popped in. Are you? Oh, you just simulcast?
Yeah.
Simulcast. All right. What's going on, everybody? So, did you get a chance? You and Lewis, did y'all get a chance to take a look at who is left? Nobody?
No.
Oh, okay. I see what happened. Did y'all get a chance to take a look at your email?
With the Epstein files?
Jesus freaking Christ, man. I'm trying to be discreet.
Oh, my bad.
I didn't get it.
What's the code word? The E-Man's files.
Did you get a chance to take a look?
I couldn't. I was so busy today. So tell me about it because I could pretty much summarize that it was.
I'm not telling anything. I'm just asking if y'all got a chance to take a look.
Not yet, but I will.
Because based on what they sent out, it is completely different from what has been out there for years. It's been out there for years, but a lot of people never said anything and probably still aren't saying anything because, the situation at the White House, especially in the FBI and the DOJ, is still in turmoil. You got FBI agents that are threatening to turn over state secrets to Russia if they get fired.
So they're blackmailing the government. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I mean they're literally
Sure, it always works.
committing treason. So things are still up in the air. It's best to be careful. It's best to be careful. But the way I see it is if they actually do what they say that they're going to do, and they actually do release unredacted versions of it, there's going to be and I keep joking about this. They're going to be calling Russell Simmons to see if they can book space in his hotel. There's going to be self deletions, and there's going to be people copping pleas. What y'all think?
There's going to be people going to places where there's no expedition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say this, right? Remember about a year ago, and I can say this because, the election's over. Remember a year ago where there was a lot of naysayers and ne'er-do-wells who thought that we were insane? I thought that we were insane when we said there's a reason why y'all don't want Trump back in office. Especially with his last term that he be president, where he has literally nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when the guy you try to I'm not going to say the word, the opposite of resuscitate. You didn't think he wasn't going to have an axe to grind? I mean, he looks like Conan the Barbarian at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And what these pundits don't really comprehend very well is that we've seen in 30 days the true power of a president, have we not?
Yeah.
It's pretty damn powerful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And it's no different. I don't know if y'all talked about the Zelensky. I'm going to do one tomorrow for my show.
Yeah, we did. We spent a good 30 minutes on it.
Well, I'm just going to say this. How do you go to somebody's house asking for food, money, supplies, and living quarters, but show your entire donkey out there?
Well, Ed said that he was like a black chick.
He was he was a devout member of the black female stuffery class.
I would say the low IQ class.
Oh, yes. And what he didn't realize is that you do realize the kind of guys J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are. They're no nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to placate. They're going to tell you, look, we're not here for your proxy war anymore. You're costing lives of millions of people across the globe. Stop. Well, I'm trying to, and what she's, I'm pretty sure AB saw some of it on my Facebook. Everybody's so devout. Oh, we got to be pro-American and we got to support our allies. But then you got to realize, how many of our allies truly supported us?
Mm-hmm.
They treated us like the rich aunt or uncle and can't wait till we kick the bucket so they can get some money or beg for some money when they mess up their college fund you set for them. And it reminds me of the same thing. You You didn't think that this wasn't gonna come bite you back in the as the British call it, the bun. There's a reason why I call Trump Genghis Khan. You must have committed great sins against God for him to send a punishment like me. I am literally the wrath of God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people don't understand and don't get, is that all this is he's coming like a wrath of God. He's taking the firstborns, he's taking everything. And I've never seen one individual decimate an entire political party in one fell swoop.
One political party.
Let me mind if I interject? The way I see it, what I think is going to happen, I think that Trump is going to use the Epstein files as well as the as far as Doge to decimate the Democratic Party. And if he has to cut off a Republican head or two, quote, figuratively, I don't want people, I'm reporting to the FBI. If he has to cut off a Republican head or two figuratively, that's what's going to happen. But I think that 100% the Democratic Party is in his sniper sights. And by the time it's over, that is, if he survives, by the time it's over, the Democratic Party will have a whole different look. They'll have a whole new format of leadership, everything. They're going to be cleaned out. You got Pritzker on The View talking reckless. All right. You got Chuck Schumer talking reckless. I mean, you've got, of course, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders talking reckless. You see Nancy Pelosi. She hasn't been in the country. We haven't heard a word from her ever since she went to Europe, around the second week of January, had a mysterious accident, and then the next day, hip surgery that put her out of the country or put her out of commission for 9 months. Mm-hmm. It's been they're fighting for their lives. If Jasmine Ratchet Crockett and Ilhan Omar and AOC and the Presley chick, if this is what they call their voice of leadership right now, because they are the most outspoken right now, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And
look at ghetto ass Jasmine Crockett. The ultimate hood chick with a voice. This reminds me of one of my favorite Bible verses, maybe my most favorite. Psalms 110 verse 1. And the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstools. And right now, there's a lot of footstools there's a lot of people resting their corns and calluses upon. And once again, I say this to not only the Black community, but also Black politicians, Black pundits. You have no idea what true power is. But sadly, you're about to find out very soon, very up close.
When they say that they can take you out with a stroke of their pen, the pen is mightier than the sword, you're about to find out. You're about to find out. There's an over-under who's going to go, who's next. I mean, Joy Reid's not really anybody, she did that to herself, but the over-under between who's next is Ilhan Omar has a bigger shot than AOC of going down because of her
Just her mouth alone.
Well, yeah, plus the immigration crime that she committed with her fruit booty brother. But I think between AOC, I'll put it like this: I think AOC is after Ilhan. I think AOC is the next target because of her treasonous acts concerning immigration, and then Jasmine Crockett.
See,
I think that's going to be the order. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
See, what you see is this is literally Rap's anger. All these women in power don't understand when you tick off a man who has true power. And Jasmine is going about it like she's in the hood somewhere. I could just run my mouth and nobody gonna check me, boo.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand. People like Vance and Trump, or Trump and Vance, to say it in the proper respects to their offices, they play slow, long-term burning games. Death by 1,000 cuts, if you will. And if you're not smart enough to know that's a figurative term, then go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand that. What's the old saying? When Mark Grayson and Nolan Grayson went up against the Grand Region Drag. At first, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. And this is going to look like an episode of Invincible, where Mark takes a big L. Yeah, that's going to be Halloween's new motto this year: trick or treason. I really think it's like, your britches are getting too big, son. I mean, it's going to be on some battle beast level. It's not going to be cute. It's not going to be cute. I know we're not on that BFF time, but guess who's going to suffer the most because of people like Jasmine Crockett? You're not getting. She's gonna bring down a whole demographic with her. And people are getting sick of these issues, right? You're looking at them swing the pendulum back. Nobody cares if you're straight, gay, transgender, male, female, black, white. You would have to get it in blood, and nobody's going to help you anymore. Nobody feels sorry for you anymore. You wanted true equality? Well, here it is. What's the old saying, fellas? Be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it.
Charles came with that Scream One voice.
I look at it like this, because when Ed was here, he was talking about it. Like, I'm looking at let's seriously talk about the Jasmine Crockett situation, because we're right now we're in free talk. All right, we're in free talk. The way I look at it is that Jasmine Crockett is trying to appeal to the low IQ black people who are hung up on race relations, and she's using it in a time and era where do understand white folks are not thinking about us right now. Trump is trying to get the illegals out, the criminal illegals, so that way they won't be able to commit terrorist acts on American soil. That's the way he looks at them. That's what they said. That's what he said they are. Even Tom Homan said it. Like, these dudes are terrorists. They're illegals. They have no power here. They're terrorists. We will not be the EU. Once you get immigration, illegal immigration under control, that's when through local government, they're going to start locking up all of the criminal blacks. You know, I hate to say it like that, like I'm separate, but I mean, that is what it is. They're going to start locking up all these criminal blacks. And unfortunately, for a lot of single mothers, it's going to be their children that are going to be seeing the insides of prison cells, be it youth detention centers or actual prisons. Personally, I think I said this in 23, if not 24. If you're under 18, I'm sending you to military camp. You're gonna do your time, be it in ROTC or in the military, be it 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, whatever prison sentence you may have for all of the criminal infractions that you racked up during the Biden administration. Remember when I was saying the last thing you want to be is in front of a judge come this year. Yeah, because once they start cracking down on these governors and mayors and start cleaning them out, especially those, like you see what's going on with Maine, where the governor with her, she's gay, talking about I'm still going to let biological men be around women, even though women are saying we don't want them around us. People like her, Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, your boy Scott, Brandon Johnson, etc. They're going to be looking at criminal charges simply based on the money. Yeah, the district attorney's right. I mean, look at what happened to Shane Tao out in Oakland. Y'all familiar with that?
No.
She got indicted. They made her step down. She had to resign. She got indicted for taking bribes from an Asian company that deals with trash. All right. So she got indicted. You're going to see a lot of that going on. Once, I know I'm broken recording this. Yeah, the Maine governor is a lesbian. I know I keep saying this, but once Kash Patel gets his team together, that's when the investigations are going to start. Right now, in all honesty, let's be honest, this Epstein list, you know, with all the redactions and everything or whatnot, I know the media is trying to play it like, oh, Pam Bondi's fumbling the ball or whatnot. Like, no. This is chess, not checkers. You know, to borrow from you know, that hobo with the bandos. But this is chess, not checkers. You're going to see who's going to start making moves now that there is some form of list that's out there showing that they don't have that they're not bluffing. This is why you turn that list over to podcasters, because now you've got the court of public opinion breathing down your neck. Right?
Oh yeah.
Charles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when the real list, because I do understand she's got an uncensored version. Let's not be crazy. Doesn't matter what the FBI call themselves doing. Not everybody in the FBI is a traitor to the American government. They have the real files. They have the real files. So it's just a matter of time. But once Patel get his team together and they start their investigations, you're going to see a lot of governors, mayors, district attorneys, etc. They're all of a sudden going to start getting cuffs placed on them for misappropriation of funds and other crazy things. but they're definitely going to get them on the money. And then once they get down, you start talking to deputy mayors and other people who are ready to start turn state's evidence. Maybe they have a little dirt on them, but they want to play Eric Adams. You're going to see a lot of Eric Adams going on across, the United States, where the Democrats will be playing ball with the Republicans. They're going to be they're going to get rid of that freaking that defund the police BS laws, those garbage laws. They're going to start prosecuting people. They're going to start calling people in for their court dates, even if they had to hunt you down. The police force, they're going to be hiring like crazy. You sent me that. Remember you sent me that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll need to do a story on that. They're going to be hunting people down like crazy. They are not going to be playing around in the country. You can clearly see that Trump is all about securing the insides of this country, because if we fail, nobody is coming over here to save us. Y'all were talking about that.
We talked about that many times. There's a reason why guys like Hegseth. Did you see what Hegseth was doing the other day? In the snow, running with soldiers.
Showing strength and leadership. That's chess, not checkers.
And it's a photo op. Of course it is, but it's a hell of a photo op. When did you see a Secretary of Defense run with troops?
When's the last time you seen what is RFK?
Food and Drug Administration.
Right. When's the last time you seen one of them with their shirt off?
I mean, think about it. RFK is damn near 70 doing pull-ups on Muscle Beach.
Like they're trying to.
But guess who was the Food and Drug Administrator? Guess who was the Food and Drug Administrator before him?
Fat trans bastard, looking weird as hell. Looking like that weird uncle that you hope they don't show up to the picnic.
Basically, Uncle Fester and drag.
Yeah. Like, get the hell out of here. So, yeah, you're looking at them locking down this country, cleaning up crime, cleaning up drugs, cleaning up the streets, and securing the border. It's going to happen. And if you're not a criminal POS, you shouldn't really have anything to worry about. But watch, when they start getting towards cleaning up American streets, especially in urban areas, because that's what the Democratic media is going to focus on. They're going to call it racism. Oh, here it comes. They're going to throw us in chains now. This is what we were talking about. Watch.
But here's the problem. If you notice one thing, hard-nosed cops like myself, they're trying to get rid of. Either make you retire or make you resign. Because you got to think, the first time in 20 years, but right before the riots, the year before the riots, for the first time in 20 years, we had the homicide rate of Baltimore under 175.
A year?
In 1 year.
That's not bad.
It's usually 3 something. And after the riots, it exploded once again. You're telling me people like Brandon Scott are the answer? You have to go back into what the old Law 101 says about jail and prison. Number 1, it's a deterrent. Number 2, it's a punishment. Number 3, it's a rehabilitation. Nobody's afraid of it. People will be afraid of it if you go by federal rules. 80% of your time is going to be served.
Plus, you need to take the TVs and the phones out.
You gotta eat.
And get the women up out of there.
The correctional
having sex in cells. What are you doing?
I remember when I was delivering a warrant one time at Central Bookings, and this chick tried to get smart, who was a correctional officer, and she was with her captain. And I embarrassed her. She said, well, the police need to stop committing crimes. And I said, y'all need to stop screwing the inmates. and he just laughed at her. The whole room just laughed at her idiocy because they didn't think I was going to come back that quick. And I just looked at her. I said, "What?" I said, oh, was it something I said? I hope it stings and I hope it hurts. You better pray that a person like me never gets into a political office. You better pray that I'm never mayor of Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
If it was, I will annex this place. First and foremost, you want to get a job, young black men? Every time you see a vacant, you're going to learn the true tools of the trade, how to fix it from the ground up. You're going to be so competitive that I'm going to literally make Baltimore look like Metropolis within 4 years. Well, what about the girls? They're good. There's no reason you have the #1 hospital in the country with all this crime. One of the biggest researchers on the planet. There's no reason you should have, within Baltimore, you have 2 major HBCUs. You have the best hospital, and damn near an Ivy League college, Johns Hopkins. You have Loyola, Villa Julie. You have all UMBC. You have all these colleges surrounding. And we don't have any of our people there. Something's got to give. Well, we got to do something about the crime. It's called putting the responsibility back in the parents and holding them accountable.
What's going on with your boy out there that was trying to do that?
Which one?
Jag, the one with the curly hair, kind of light skinned. He was trying to hold the parents accountable for underage for juvenile crime.
Oh, you talking about Ivan? You talking about Ivan Bates, the state's attorney?
Yeah, Ivan Bates. What's going on with that?
I'll give him credit. He's been a lot more effective than Marilyn Mosby, for damn sure. They're getting there, and see, people always say the police don't do their. Well, the police don't do their jobs. Yes, we do. We arrest them. Just because we arrest somebody, it's up to the state's attorney to keep them there. People, and I'm going to tell people, y'all need to really go back into civics, because if you get your information from MSNBC and CNN, you're going to end up being a lot dumber than what you began. Because first and foremost, the people you should hammer, forget the mayor, look at your state's attorney. Look at your state's attorney. Marilyn Mosby, before and during her term of being state's attorney for Baltimore City, has not tried a Part 1 crime, which means major crime, in her career. What happens when you get somebody who's not afraid?
They do whatever.
And that's the part where a lot of black people are going to get shook. What happens when you got a person? What is the old saying? This looks like a job for Superman while he's taking his clothes off in the phone booth or the broom closet. Once he takes the disguise of Clark Kent off, he's all business. Here's the thing about police and blood boiling. Policing is cultural. And I try to say that to my godson. Policing is cultural. When he showed me a film of a white guy who was a Iraq war veteran and he had a rifle on his, I said, city cops and county cops are not the same type of cops. Your first 6 months, you probably dealt with, let's say you're in Baltimore City. The first 6 months of your career, probably even in field training, you probably drew your weapon. There are some people who haven't drew their weapon in 10 years. Or drawn. And I was in field training on a foot chase, and the guy was turning, and I drew down on him. And that's like my first 2 weeks in field training before my graduation. So you have to look at it, right? It's all cultural. For example, why is that white cop going to have more time with that white guy in Iowa or Montana with a gun in his hand? Because the culture's different. They know that everybody's raised with a shotgun in the rack. You're not raised the same way in Baltimore, Philly, New York City, or LA. So the culture's different, so they're going to have more leniency towards that. When you see a guy with an AK or an AR or AR pistol in the streets of Baltimore, and I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the video where he got lit the hell up. Because those officers had nothing. If he would have started rocking and rolling with that AR, I think it was an AR pistol, they had nothing in their vicinity that could combat that. So when you look at things like the Duluth model and other things, policing's number one cultural. Just like if I took a guy from Iowa and put him in 33rd Fremont or York and Woodlawn, or I put him over there in Norfolk, Pensy, he's going to get shook. It's just like, Lewis will tell you, not all Marines are created equal, just like not all soldiers. There's guys, even though you're all supposed to be riflemen, everybody wants to go kill a commie for mommy and kill an Iraqi for daddy. But when the time comes, everybody's going to take the safest. 99% of people are going to take the safest route. So when you look at things like that, you have to look at the culture. People don't take in consideration Baltimore's still roughly 60% black. 70, excuse me. So who am I going to interact with most of the time? It's going to be almost every time a black person. I didn't even know we had white people in Baltimore until I was like a damn teenager. That's how black it was at some points. So the interaction and the culture of things where you're used to this demographic having a gun because you grew up with a gun. Hell, you seen in the Midwest and then down south, you'll see teenagers driving trucks and they got a shotgun in the rack because they just, as soon as they leave school or right before school, they went hunting. You're not going to do that in urban environments. Am I talking too much? Anybody want to get in?
No, you good. We listening.
Yeah.
So when you always look at law enforcement, it's a cultural thing, and that's what everybody doesn't want to say. Well, if that was me, I would have got shot. Maybe, maybe not. That's what my godson tried to tell me because he was black. I said, maybe, maybe not. Look at where he's from. Find out where the video's from. And I bet you they used to. They gave him leeway. Me being a city cop, I would have shot him as soon as he tried to pick up his drink. I can't see where his hands are going. Pow, pow, pow. It would have been like a
justified.
It would have been like a sexy red record. Bow, 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 bow. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And when you look at these things, when people say, well, the police are racist, yeah, there are some racists. It's not the total sum. There are some.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the question, and nobody ever asked.
What would you do if you were in that situation where a white or black guy sitting on his porch with a rifle in his hand? He gets up, the rifle's 2 to 3 feet away from him. He goes leaning back to grab a drink. Do you know if he's grabbing that rifle or not? And then on top of that, he says he's not going to leave the house. The only way he's going to leave the house is suicide by cop. What are you going to do?
Especially when he reaches back.
I'm popping him.
You reach back. I don't care if you got a drink, if you're getting your drink or not. I can't see your hands. You're a threat. You're a danger. I got to preserve life. And sometimes, not sometimes. All the time, it has to be my life first. Because if I'm down and I'm incapacitated, guess who has a free gun that's clean with 42 rounds? And how much time, if I'm incapacitated, he's going to take that gun and use it against me. FBI statistics, 85% suspect gets your gun, he's going to use it against you.
I'm laughing at Juice. He's like, call for backup. Like you're going to say, wait, hold on. Before you reach, let me call for backup. And he's going to go, okay. Then when they show up, that's when he reach.
You got to do it. You got to do it like a game of It's Times.
Time out.
And I tell people, y'all need to, I'm going to ask everybody to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Brandon Tatum. Go to Sean Ryan. Go to a lot of these people and ask if they can interview me. Wouldn't that be exciting to get one of the boys from the Manosphere to get interviewed? I'm pretty sure Tatum would take me. We don't even have to talk about our disagreements. And I'd
rather see you on Sean Ryan.
I'd rather be on Sean Ryan myself, because there's some things I could catch Tatum on, but believe it or not, there's some things I would agree with him with. Not everything. I don't believe in the coonery, but I would tell him, let's be honest. What's up, Art? New style? And
I think Sean Ryan would more so let you tell your story, your background, and then he would go into like certain questions, whatnot, like especially with you going from the public sector to the private sector.
And he's pro-veteran, him being a Navy SEAL and all, and even he has some gripes against the way the government's been handling things. And I would tell him, I said, think about it. A buddy of mine who's just in transportation enforcement, not a cop, he's getting screwed with his schedule. His wife, because he's been married for a year, he has 2 young children with him and his wife. His wife works in DC. He's the closest. His mom passed, his dad passed, and they weren't sugar honey iced tea anyway. His words, not mine. He doesn't have the support group, and then you got to pray that one of the boys are free and available to help him out if he needs it very badly. So think about it. You've overworked your staff with your police. DEI promoted a lot of people who should never have gotten stripes or bars. And you let the idiots run the asylum. I'll give you a quick example of what I mean by DEI in the police department. It was one guy. He didn't spend 4 to 5 months on the street when he graduated the academy. Somehow, some way, he ended up in community relations. There should be no goddamn way in hell that you should be in community relations with only 4 months on the street. He gets enough time, rub elbows with people, learn what to study. He gets promoted to sergeant. Oh yeah, by the way, this guy who got promoted to sergeant, he left his service pistol in a bag in the roll call room for 3 hours. Say it with me, folks. Wow.
I think about yeah. I'm like, are you serious?
As serious as 9/11. As serious as 9/11.
Baffling.
And it's baffling. That's not all. I'm like the OxyClean man. Wait, there's more. He becomes a sergeant, I believe, in the Northeast, which is the largest district in Baltimore City and one of the busiest. He's a sergeant, and he gets the University of Maryland. He has a shooting victim, and the guy who drove him there, he literally allowed the guy to drive the car to go to 7-Eleven and come back.
That's like taking the Burger King.
I wish upon a star. Why are people like that even promoted? You want to talk about DEI? You got people who become sergeants and their parents are majors and lieutenant colonels. You got people who become sergeants. Remember, this is not a merit-based promotion. It's a multiple question test, and you go in front of the Sanhedrin of 3, and don't think that if somebody higher up likes you, they're not going to put your name out there for all the people who were look at the oral exam, listening to you. And I'm not saying that everybody who gets promoted is a DEI, but there's a lot of them lately. You literally had a test thrown out because somebody gave the MF the answer key. So everybody who did well the first time had to take it again. And guess, people like me, when I had my ankle and foot surgery, I got screwed because my test got thrown out.
Because of one. Okay. All right.
So when you talk about these things, these are the people who are getting in positions of power within your police departments who were vastly incompetent and negligent, and you wonder why crime persists the way that it does. But once you get a hard charging person who's squared away, knows what they're doing, everybody's going to complain about them.
Mm-hmm.
Charles?
Yes?
I hate to cut it short, but we're on 3 hours.
I was done at that point.
Oh, okay, it's fine. I mean, I could sit here and let you talk all day, but I'm long, and we're at the 3 hour mark. So let's do closing statements. Red.
Be good to others, but first and foremost, be good to yourself.
Yep.
Amen.
AB.
Thanks for having me up. Keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. I'm out.
Charles.
Woo! And that's it.
I would say, of course, I didn't do a show yesterday because I was tired. But tomorrow I will at 9:00. We will go over Trump's press conference dealing with Putin and Macron. Mainly Macron. We'll go over that because Macron interrupted Trump on some things. They had a little tit for tat. So I'll cover that tomorrow at 9. We'll have some fun with that. And of course, you know how Trump is. Something else is going to jump off. 3 big things are going to jump off before 4 p.m. tomorrow. So some things might get pushed to the side. We'll see. But we're just playing it by ear with this guy's presidency. But outside of that, I guess I'll catch y'all later. See y'all tomorrow.
Peace.